All right, it's going.
All right. Welcome to session 2 of the second Eberron campaign. Where we last left off, 4 of you were investigating the laboratory that was formerly used by the previous team. And Lob had gone off to question the staff who maintain the facilities. And we'll actually pick up getting back to Lob, who was actually in the process of questioning the head steward of the facilities. Now, I don't remember, and I'm going to have to scroll up, unfortunately, if you had already made your insight roll or not.
I don't think I did.
I'm going to say you did not. I could look back, and that's the only downside. We're going to have to make sure we don't leave off on rolls because of both games sharing the stream or sharing the same game.
If you go to settings, you can clear the chat log.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I don't necessarily want to do that, but okay. All right. So as you're asking him, questions, is particularly why the facilities went neglected for so long, and why nothing was reported until after 7 days. He gives you the answer that they're not in charge of the comings and goings. They don't track the researchers, and no one on their staff is held to any kind of a timetable. But you get the sense that he's not being totally forthright with you. Something doesn't feel right, and you feel like he's just kind of giving you a canned response, and there might be more to the story.
All right. I look around the room. How's the room furnished?
It's a sparse office, so it's pretty utilitarian. It does have, you can definitely get a sense for his status in that it's not this little, tiny little cubby, in some hallway stuff somewhere. Like, he's not like a janitor. He's the guy in charge of all the janitors, in charge of probably facilities maintenance. So it's a fairly well appointed office, but it still looks like it's just focused on running the place.
All right. So there's no. What is in here for furniture, or decorations, or anything?
Not much. Yep, not much in the way of decorations. However, there are stacks and stacks. Like there's a bookshelves with just tons of really thick tomes. You're just looking at them, you'd probably guess their records and things like that. Outside of his immediate office area, he does have like a personal assistant.
Yeah.
But inside that other room, there's a lot of other staff.
Okay.
So
I go over to the bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any words on the spines of the book?
Yes. The words on the spines of the books looks like they relate to quarters and like one is like maintenance logs. One has to do with financials, like a whole set have to do with financials and other things.
Can I tell from just looking if any of these pertain to that particular lab or that series of buildings?
Go ahead and roll me a. Give me an active perception. All right, you don't. With a quick look, you don't see anything that stands out because it doesn't look like they've named the labs in any way that would make sense to you.
Okay.
And so you're looking, but I mean, you could have already seen it, and you wouldn't even know it. And he kind of he's kind of getting a little uncomfortable with you turning your attention away.
I grab a book off the shelf.
Excuse me.
Sit down. Shut up. If you say a word, I'm going to ram this book down your throat.
Oh my god. Make an intimidate roll. Oh.
Ram the spine of it down his spine.
He shuts his mouth and just kind of glares at you. Takes a pause. So I don't know if you want to say anything in the pause.
No, I want to open the book.
Okay, you open the book.
Yep.
All right, you open the book, and to you it looks like I'm going to say that you probably grabbed what you thought was probably maintenance logs, and sure enough, it is. And it looks like the logs aren't set up by the log doesn't cover just one room or one laboratory. It's more just entries as things come up in all of them.
Right.
What
do you mean things that come up?
Maintenance requests, things.
When something breaks, it's recorded.
Yep, exactly. Or equipment requests. So if they're requesting additional equipment and things like that.
Or equipment moved.
Yep.
Okay. Is the book that I happen to grab the book I'm looking for, or is it? Can I tell from opening it?
You can quickly tell from looking at it that the dates are really old. Like not super old, but well beyond the time period, or far earlier than the time period you're looking for.
I want to gauge his reaction to me looking into the.
He's kind of studying you. He's still somewhat glaring, but he's kind of just like humoring you almost in a way.
All right, I grab a page and I just start to tear it just a little.
So he hits a level of exasperation. He says, "Is this necessary?"
Absolutely necessary. I rip the whole page out.
Oh.
And I crumple it up. And I toss it at him.
He just kind of blinks as it hits him and says, "Look, we were authorized to assist in any way, but if you believe that the High Marshal will stand for this behavior, you've got
you
quite
think the High
another
Marshal
thing."
wants to hear about your incompetence?
Incompetence? Really?
I tear another page out.
Do you really think that we would have the comings and goings of every single research group? Do you not work for the 12?
I do, and they're not going to like my answer that you gave me. So, unless you have a better answer, I suggest you speak up.
Look, We don't keep records of comings and goings. We don't keep any records
So
of
this
wait.
information here in this book. Marshall moved such and such from this building to. That's not a record of movement.
Of inventory and new equipment, yes. Of staff,
So how does
no.
an entire laboratory move out and not be questioned or known?
We were under orders to stay away.
Whose orders?
The orders came from Godwin.
Player to GM. Remind me who Godwin is.
Yes, Godwin
Who is
is
the chief?
he's the lead.
Yeah.
You got it.
And you did not report that to your superiors?
Where do you think his orders came from? We were not to question him.
Are these orders? Were those orders normally something that you would follow?
Of course, and he kind of like gets haughty, like it's just unreasonable to think that he wouldn't follow orders to the letter. I do not question my orders.
I dropped the book. I without even closing the book, I just flipped my hand, and so the book just falls to the floor.
He kind of glares at you and grinds his teeth. Are
you absolutely sure that's the truth?
Quite sure.
Insight check.
Go ahead. Looks, you definitely know, or you get a sense that he's being level with you about this. You think that he definitely is the type of person that would probably, do exactly what he's told to do and not question. And
like he doesn't have a very good imagination. Like he's very
right.
Like he brushes his teeth the same time of the day.
Exactly.
He has his Monday meal, which is always the same Monday meal.
Yeah, he's very, very bureaucratic.
Right.
And so you get the feeling he's pretty straight with you. However, he kind of for a second there, he kind of looks like he's debating something. He kind of looks away, and he's
debating if he wants to call the guards or not.
Well, what do you want to do?
I put my arm up on the bookshelf, kind of like leaning on it with my elbow.
Oh no!
And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to say, if I find that you're not telling me the truth, and that there's more to this, that you're withholding from me, an operator of the 12, I'll be back. And I take my arm and I swing it around.
Wait, he said
I unload the bookshelf onto the floor
Oh.
and walk out.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say, hey, nice bookshelf you got here. It'd be a shame if something was to happen to it.
All right, and you want to jet?
Negotiations differently, Jamie.
Yeah. I thought so. And I go back to the lab. And if he's screaming or yelling at me or saying anything, I'm completely ignoring him.
He does not. He doesn't say a word.
He's probably too busy
And I go
cleaning
back
up
to the
all the
lab.
books.
However, as soon as you leave, like everyone else out in the other room is kind of just staring at you as you leave. And you know what? Make me another insight check.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. You see a gnome like staring towards you, but then when your gaze glances her way, she almost yelps and jumps and starts looking somewhere else, but then keeps making like glances your way. And she's not avoiding your eye contact,
What
but
is
she's
is she a member of the office? Does she
Yep.
have like a desk? She's sitting at a desk?
Yep.
Okay. I take a mental note of that and I continue out.
Okay.
I can terrorize her later.
All right. So you're heading back to the laboratory.
Correct.
All right.
Nate, do you have the master volume for music way down?
I do.
Because I have it all the way up, and I can just barely hear music. Ooh,
I do. I have it completely down.
There we go.
Hidden room.
Now I can adjust it accordingly. Perfect. Excellent. Jamie, you're a little quiet. I don't know if you're on the headset mic again or if you're far away from the mic.
No, I am far away from my mic because
Okay.
with my new monitor setup, it's hard to get the mic close to me, but I will adjust.
Yeah, I gotta reset my whole desk up so I can be a little bit closer.
How about now?
Way better.
All right.
Oh, I had to scroll up. I'm like, where am I on this map?
It can stay there for tonight, I guess.
Dang it!
Let's see if the.
So good to know that you guys can see the names
All right,
of the music
it's
that
still
I'm
off
playing.
camera.
Nice to know what?
What
That
the
we're
hell?
here? That we can actually see the
That you
map?
can see the names of the music I'm playing.
Oh, I can't. I don't see it. I don't know where you're. telling me.
Yeah.
Under,
It's
if you go
dead.
to the jukebox, it tells you
Oh.
what the.
The track.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not on the jukebox, so.
Okay. So you guys had found some bits of clothing. It looked like undergarments. And you found those in this room here, where you guys all are.
Mhm.
And this is the only room that had some stuff still left there, but it didn't look like it's all like really generic supplies and things like that. Other than the little pool up here, which has some weird like yellowish liquid in it. There wasn't much else in the room.
And we thoroughly examined it.
Well, so where we left off, you guys were going to start your searches, your
Right.
detailed searches for the room. And so we're going to, anyone that's going to be looking, I don't know, Chris, you don't have any type of detect magic, right?
I think I do.
So how did you guys want to go about searching? Because so far you've only had a chance to really search this room.
I did cast detect magic last time and kind
did.
of scanned the whole place.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you did. So what we're gonna have you guys do is I'm going to have everyone that's here go ahead and roll an investigate.
Yes. Excellent.
And then I was kind of just doing a perception scan of just seeing if there was anything hidden in all of these areas.
Yep.
But I can try and okay.
Woo!
You tried.
He did.
You tried hard.
Okay. So after kind of searching around, you guys don't find anything further in this room.
Okay.
And you kind of just move on, and then you guys are over to this room here.
I'm coming.
Sorry,
Next one over? Oh, yeah, okay.
this one.
I'm coming.
So you guys are searching this place, and you don't really find anything. This is where most of what looks like just missing equipment is. And then after a while, you guys finally make your way down to this room.
I've let go. You can move me.
Okay.
Should we be seeing this purple circle?
Yep. That was
That's his cameras.
if I was streaming. That's my cameras if I was going to be streaming tonight.
Okay.
It's a token. It's an invisible token, but the purple lets me know where it's at, so I can actually move it around if I need to.
Orrery.
Cameras are recording.
Yeah, we see the blinking purple light. We know we're being watched.
All right. So as you guys are searching in this room, again, it looks like there's a lot of missing equipment, but you find something's not right with the bookshelves over here.
It didn't ping. I didn't see it. Are you on the wrong layer?
Is it by Dalavash?
I bet it's...
How's that?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I was on the wrong layer.
I would like to investigate.
All right. So it looks like, for the most part, it just looks like a row of mostly empty bookshelves. There's some books remaining, but they seem to be pretty generic and, not really anything there.
A
However,
bookshelf, you say?
You
Your
find
species enemy. Pull all
Better
the
kill
books
those
until the
books.
secret door opens. Ah, blackness.
all right.
Lob,
so you
Lob is chaotic, so he doesn't like organization. So whenever he finds it, he must destroy it.
Oh no.
I'm joking.
This is very neat and orderly you got here. I hate it.
All right. So you guys find that this particular bookshelf twists, revealing a secret passage behind.
Before we go in, I want to listen real carefully. Just nervous. There might be somebody lurking in there. Do I hear anything?
You do not. There's not a whole lot of light.
Oh yeah.
You can see it's kind of dark in here.
I don't have a light spell. Damn it.
I think I do.
Is it a cantrip or a first level?
Cantrip.
I need to add that.
Well, I will light up something, maybe my shield.
Yeah, light
You have the
light cantrip, yeah.
okay.
20 foot, 20 foot.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that. That works too. Alright. I would like to... Whoa, there's definitely like an evil pentagram going on in here. Is that accurate to the description of the room?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Does it look like it's been used for any kind of arcane rituals?
So something has definitely there again. Same kind of situation. There's not a lot of equipment here, although there's spaces. These 4 tables around here. If you look at even just the dust marks, but in this room, it's kind of unmistakable. You see blood, dried blood. There's blood on the table. There is a lot more discarded clothing in this room, and there's even some evidence that there's manacles on the walls, things like that.
Even this table looks like it has some too.
But yep, it's you're not really sure how old it is.
Can we examine the blood? Get an idea of how long ago it was spilled?
You can tell, you can go ahead and roll, so you can do one of
yeah,
the
there we go.
You can roll an insanely high medicine, if you're mother. Or you can, roll or an investigate.
I will do investigate, because my medicine is... Ugh, what? I'm too distracted by the blood.
Holy crap. So... despite how magnificently high everyone rolled, there's not a lot to tell, because at minimum this blood is 7 days old, right? Because that's when the
well, that's what I want to confirm, because if the blood is only 2 days old, then we have a real problem.
Yes, so for it's not wet at all, so
So I'm just imagining.
I'm gonna say,
like mother.
Yeah, it's starting to flake, right? It's not pooled at all. So, I mean, you can kind of scratch it with your thumb, and you can definitely both Dalavash, you've seen, just out in the woods, you've seen sites with animal carcasses have been butchered. You've done it yourself in the field. You've come across spots where other hunters, and that this is at minimum a week old. How much longer than that it is now? Mother, that the amount of blood we're talking about is a lot. So this was not an operation room per se. I mean, if it was, and you've also been present for post-mortem examinations. I wouldn't necessarily, call them autopsies, but you've helped and assisted to determine cause of death and things like that. And you can definitely say that with the amount of blood, this was not post-mortem. So that's what your medical check tells you. Brian or Dalavash, your medicine comes from your familiarity with the woods and living creatures. But Mother, this was not... this didn't happen post-mortem. This wasn't an autopsy. They were alive. A lot of blood pumped.
Far greater blood content than battlefield hospital conditions. Mother says, kind of stooping down, scraping some off, and putting the finger in its mouth. Tastes like nothing.
Any flesh or any residue? Looks like injury besides just the blood. No. Well, what about tools that would have implemented this kind of damage?
Many tools, it looks like.
Yep. And so if you guys spend some time, you will probably find some discarded surgical equipment, but for the most part, everything looks like it was taken with everything else. That something met their end in this room. For what purpose? Not sure.
Well,
Who
could-
did it?
Yeah.
Also not sure.
What are these barrels? Anything in there?
So you rolled an investigate. I'm going to have
Yeah, that's
everyone
terrible.
roll one more investigation. So now you've looked at the table, you've looked at the blood. Everyone roll another investigate. All right. The pentagram below is actually looks like some type of rubbery paint of some kind. It's pretty thick, but it's also done very, very precisely.
So it's
And
kind of
at-
raised. It's not just like drawn.
Exactly.
Got it.
At each intersection, there is like a small dish that's like well integrated into the design. And the same like substance that was used to paint covers the dish, but there's still a flat spot in the center of the dish, and it's all kind of just part. You suspect that with enough prying, you could almost peel the whole thing off like a sticker.
Not sure we want to do that.
There's nothing in the dishes.
Correct.
I want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
I'd do it as a ritual, but I don't want to take the 10 minutes, so I'll just cast it.
You just cast it.
Yeah.
Nothing in this room is showing up. You still see that the Ori here has definite magical properties, as well as the equipment that does remain. But nothing. The barrels are, for the most part, empty, and but there's a lot of them were used to store discarded scraps of clothing.
Scraps, so we can't tell if it was like a male or female outfit or anything like that.
Not true. You up in this room, you actually found that it was women's undergarments.
Right.
And in here, you would guess it's a bit of both. There is female clothing, and here you actually find bits, not a lot, but bits of actual clothing. Piece of a dress, some slacks, and a shirt. You even found like a almost like a bowler hat, crumpled and crushed. Looking at everything, you probably see at least 4 distinct sets or part of a set of clothing, right? Because unless someone would, at least bits of 3 different undergarments as well as 2 different outfits.
Okay.
I'm going to look around and see if there are any additional hidden exits for this room. Let me perceive. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking over the dossier again here, real quick.
You kind of go around the room, Mother, and you are kind of looking at the wall, running your hands along, shifting things out of the way, looking for things on the floor, like maybe there's a trapdoor or something like that. But so far, you've not come across anything. So I'm going to say... What's that?
You should loop the music.
It is.
Oh, it's not playing anymore.
Yeah,
You don't hear it?
I hear it.
You do hear it?
I've heard the music cut off when I was playing around with the music, so it could be a Roll20 thing for you on your end. But I'm going to say that while you guys are really scouring this room, Lob returns and makes his way into
Yeah,
the
I was
laboratory.
just gonna go find him.
So you're here. You can obviously see into this room, but you don't see any signs of them.
Do I hear anything?
You probably hear us
I
talking.
think- Yeah, you'd hear some probably low voices, but to be honest, you don't hear much at all, actually. I'm going to say no.
Is there like a dampening field in here?
That's... You guys find that it's pretty quiet in this room.
All the walls are covered in that foam material with the triangles on it to keep the sound
Yep,
from
it
bouncing.
was probably pretty obvious that they didn't want anyone hearing what's going. In fact, even at the back side of the cabinet here. However, currently this is open, right? So imagine right at that, right at this leg here, it rotates 90 degrees.
Right.
So a quick glance, you'd see that all of the rooms are, this room and this room are empty. So you would head down in here into this room, and you'd immediately see people walking around in this room.
You have a very strange thing casting a shadow right here.
I see that.
Oh, I know what it is. Boop.
Oh, it's
Probably the
gone.
door.
Hey.
I was like, why is it? I can't see. I'm gonna head over to Crag Digger. Did you find anything out? Anyone know anything?
Yeah, the chief steward said that Godwin ordered everyone to stay away from this place.
Well, it was top secret. That doesn't surprise me. Here, come check this out. I'll lead him over to the secret room. I have to take you by the arm if I have to. Come on.
No, I'm coming. It's being a little laggy whenever I move characters.
That's alright.
Alright. Well, I don't enter the room, I stand in the doorway.
Yeah. Someone met their end in this room, or at least was exsanguinated after the fact. That's right. I used a big word.
Like we beforehand.
I don't suppose this is some kind of a teleportation ritual and they left via this room, do you think?
Teleportation or a summoning?
Ooh, I don't like that. Let's go with teleportation. But now
Either way, if it involved sacrifice, it must have been pretty strong.
Unfamiliar ritual to this unit. To be. Is there a book here?
How to summon demons and influence people.
Right?
One would almost think that the location of this secret room next to the
orrery
would lead one to believe that it has something to do with
Cosmos.
space.
Yeah. Is that our known cosmology?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty common, especially you see that a lot with a lot of the research into like Draconic Prophecy and things like that take into account alignments of the heavenly bodies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But what was your specific question?
If I knew that was like our solar system or our whatever.
Yep. Yeah, you would recognize it.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good question, actually. I would say that to an extent, probably.
It's probably our
there's
solar system?
probably that you would recognize.
Okay. I'm pretty smart.
You are, but I'm questioning, It's not like they had astronauts.
Right.
No, it's not like they had astronauts, right? I mean,
True.
I don't know what the known.
True, but
Right,
we knew a lot
it's-
about our
it's-
solar system before we got into space.
It's true.
Well, yes and no. I mean, is there a basic school? I mean, we wouldn't learn. If we never went to school, we wouldn't learn about the solar system.
Could be.
Right.
I mean, us as individuals. I don't mean as a.
I know what you mean. I'm just assuming with an 18 intelligence, I picked up more than just from school.
I'm going to say you're reasonably sure that it is the solar system of Eberron.
Is it moving or is it stationary?
It is stationary. However, it can be moved.
That was my next question.
Mhm.
Does it look like it's been adjusted recently, or does it look like it's more for display?
You would have absolutely no way to know. Everything has about the same level of dust.
Right.
Well,
It's been a week, so
yeah. And they have cleaned, because if Lob shares what he learned, the person in charge of this laboratory reported everything was gone 7 days ago.
right. So they've been in here.
Is this the kind of a place that people would go for secret research?
Honestly, the places people would go for secret research are really the headquarters of the 12.
Right.
But research happens all over Corvair.
Well, these guys were researching a shield, right?
Uh-huh.
Like a physical
Here-
shield or like a magical shield?
Magical shield.
Okay. So they were probably
Here in
asking
Carlactin,
demons
though-
to help out.
Here in Carlactin, this would be where you go
Are
for
you sure about that?
research.
Because
That-
it looks like their research strayed from its intended purpose.
Well, yeah, this right here, this pentagram makes me think demons?
Perhaps
I-
it did not stray.
What do I see if I look through this telescope? What's it fixed on?
It looks
I trace the demons.
right now at daylight. Right, you're not seeing much because it's daytime.
Okay.
I retrace the pentagram. What happens?
You get a gold star.
Yeah!
You do.
I made
Literally.
I made a yellow star. That's close enough.
Oh.
All right. That's oh my goodness. This esoteric arcana is difficult to decipher. I'm trying to use big words. Trying to sound super smart.
Uncertain purpose of ritual, perhaps correlation with Ori?
Yeah, I mean that does seem to. I mean,
Three-dimensional,
even the proximity of the two. Does seem,
two-dimensional
Was the
representation of it.
Was the door closed when you found it?
yes. Yeah, we just found the secret door a minute ago.
How did you open it?
Bookshelf.
It was behind the bookshelf.
Lob's like, I knew it. I knew it was one of these bookshelves.
If I just turn them all over,
I just
eventually I
started in
get
the
it.
wrong room.
Right.
So was there actually a book down here, or nothing left here in terms of text?
So the bookshelves themselves, including the bookshelf that turns, they had books, but they were very generic books. They it's like the
Flora and fauna of northern.
exactly. Yeah.
Right, I mean this thing here in the pentagram room.
No. That was a spot for a book, but no, there's no book there.
Do we have a point of contact in this town that we're supposed to report to?
Well, the marshal guy, who
Right.
seems to be in charge
Yep.
of law enforcement.
I wonder if we should ask him about this room. He probably wouldn't know. It sounds like it sounds like nobody set foot in this lab that wasn't expressly invited in. Are there any other rooms to check?
I assume you checked the contents of the barrels?
I did. I don't remember getting told what it was.
Clothing.
Oh, that's what the clothing was.
In this room, they were mostly empty. Bits and pieces of clothing. So you had undergarments from both male and female,
Right.
and bits and pieces of clothes. Not like a full outfit, but parts of an outfit.
Okay, so we have this room
Do they...
and this room.
Looking at them.
Mother, go grab me a couple barrels and bring them here, please.
Is this the entrance to the whole complex right here, Nate?
It is further into, but it is like permanently sealed. It looks like permanently sealed. They compartmentalized a series of rooms to create the laboratory. So the only way in and out is this right here.
Oh, that's
But you
what
do have
the stairs.
windows,
Right.
some windows, and
You might want to make it so that we can't freely pass through the obstruction areas.
oh, you can do that?
Yeah, you can.
How do you do that?
I think it's on the first settings page for the map where it says dynamic lighting obstructs movement or something like that. It's a toggle.
Ooh.
Mother brings over a couple barrels.
I want to see if I can determine any type of relevance to any of this random clothing.
Huh.
Did it work? Oh, yep. Now I can't get through.
Look at that.
Yep.
That is a good
Sorry,
question.
say that one more time, Jamie.
I had Mother bring me a couple barrels, so
Mhm.
I didn't enter the room. I'm being superstitious.
Okay.
Nice.
And I just want to investigate the couple barrels, like the clothing inside, like if it's completely random, and if I want to see if I can like somehow correspond why they would be random and what condition they're in. Like, are they wearable? Are they ripped? Are they just like discarded?
Another
So-
question is, are they like rich people's clothes or just like commoners' clothes or...
Great question. So, as far as the quality of clothing, it's definitely on the lower end scale of clothing. I mean, not necessarily,
Homeless,
who's to say
not
poor?
homeless.
Yeah, not necessarily homeless, but I
But
mean,
like a
some of
peasant?
it's well used. It's cared for to an extent, but to answer all of your questions, it looks like there's about, based on size, gender, normal gender conforming, articles of clothing. You think there are probably about 5 different sets of clothing,
Okay.
right?
I
Belonging
lay
to
them-
5 different people.
In this
And I
room, I
think
kind of
this team
lay
had
them
5
out
people.
and I try to match them up.
You have one full set of women's undergarments, and then you have an obviously larger, like bottom pair of women's undergarments. Then you have 2 different sizes of men's undergarments and some
So-
trousers and a hat.
All right. Are they ripped or torn, or do they seem like they?
Undergarments seem good. However, the trousers have stains and some tears.
That seems to line up with the dossier, right?
What's that?
Five people. I think. I'm trying to open it up again.
One of them is Warforged, so
They would
Not much in the-
There were
Yeah,
4
maybe.
individuals on the team and 2 researchers.
well, that's true. Yeah.
One, 2, 3.
But there is also the set of
6.
clothes we found in the other room.
Yep, there's a few more articles, Jamie, that they found in here. So if you guys are sharing information, you would probably either grab or have someone grab. That was kind of how you matched up a full set of women's undergarments,
Okay.
like top and bottom, and then an additional male undergarment, or just really like boxer short style,
So loss of undergarments.
mostly.
That doesn't seem weird to anyone.
I mean, it does.
It does,
I
but
don't leave mine just lying around anywhere. Usually.
I don't know what it
And
means.
as she says that, I flick one pair of women's undergarments at her.
No thanks. I've got my own.
Mhm.
I just sigh, shake my head, throw it back in the barrel.
Are these uncommon mating rituals?
No, I meant hold them up. Don't put them back in the barrel. Hold them up to see what size they are.
Are we
Where
comparing
was
to the people in the
Petey?
file? Because I don't think we have their measurements.
Always going for the simple.
Yeah, is it just undergarments? There's nothing else?
There's
the trousers.
there's a hat and some men's trousers.
But
Now
you know,
the men's trousers would probably they look like they would fit. Let me see. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, someone about the size of Dalavash.
how big is Dalavash?
He is good question. He's about 6'3",
Holy shit!
and
176
actually,
pounds.
I don't know how big is Lob and Mother for that matter.
I would think Lob's pretty big as an orc, right?
I would think, but I never.
There's
I never filled that section out.
nope.
Uh,
So
6'7".
probably
Ooh,
a
jeez.
little too small for Dalavash. They look about average size, right? Dalavash could probably fit into them, but they'd probably fall a bit short. Show quite a bit of his lovely ankles.
Scandalous.
Right.
But all of these sets are human or roughly
Humanoid,
human-sized,
yep.
as were all of the research and team members.
No, because one of them was a tiefling. Would she have a tail? Are we
Yes,
assuming that all tieflings have tails? So
I assumed.
wouldn't there be an appropriate modification in her particular undergarments for a tail?
I would imagine yes.
Are any of these undergarments like that?
Negative. No breaks for tails.
Alright, so these are probably the clothes of all the victims that they probably tested this ritual on.
How much blood was in this room? Was there look like multiple people, or
Oh yeah, good question.
So
was it like a couple people?
at the end, right? I mean, you would guess. Both of you rolled a good enough medical. So, Dalavash, you've hunted game before, and you've hunted humanoid-sized game, and you roughly know how much blood is in, something that large, and you know that while there's a lot of blood, The floor is mostly cleaned up.
So
Right? It's
somebody's been
just
cleaning
stains.
the floor.
Well, I mean, there's blood on the floor, don't get me wrong, but there's not enough blood,
Right.
and there's certainly not enough blood to account for 5, at least, right? That's how many sets of clothing you guys have kind of figured. At least, the bits of clothing you have belong to at least 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not that much blood.
Okay.
There's also no drain, though. So it's not like the blood left. It had to have been most likely dealt with.
Cleaned up.
Yeah. But clearly there wasn't a thorough job done.
Should we ask the cleanup crew if they knew about this room?
They were told to stay.
So they must have been in a hurry then if they did such a hasty job cleaning.
By the way, Lob is 6'2".
We need...
Okay.
Okay, so the complex that this lab is inside of, is it walled? Like, would they be able to just walk out the front door in the middle of the night and leave?
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't have security gate guards or anything that would have noticed something suspicious a week ago? I mean, it's a long time to ask. Like you said, there's no security tapes to pull.
Right, there's no security tapes to pull. But have you ever been to... I mean, you would probably know enough about House Deneath to know that they operate pretty by the book, and they're very very bureaucratic in their like record keeping.
Yeah, but if
Not
they
anymore.
if they had records of somebody coming and going, then they wouldn't be hiring someone to come look and see if someone left.
So who was kind of running or sponsoring this project? The description mentioned that both houses Deneath and Cannith were interested in this project, but was it the 12 running it, or one of those houses, or who?
Yes. The answer to all of those is yes. So it's a joint effort between House Deneath and House Cannith. Obviously, Cannith from you give us a working prototype and we're going to manufacture it. The research itself is sponsored by the 12. The research started out on its own, and after someone attempted to interfere with the research, that's when the 12 actually actively assigned a servitor cell to safeguard the research. And that's also when the research was moved from some remote facility elsewhere to the actual headquarters of House Deneath.
And right, were the members of the research team associated with one of those two houses, or both?
Yes.
Well, one of them was from Deneath.
Well, the servitors are, Godwin was a dragon marked member of House Deneath.
Right, but the researchers.
The researchers, no.
Okay.
Their only ties were the research was being sponsored by the 12.
Okay. So you wonder if the House Deneath security may have known something about the people coming and going. But given their ties to the operator, maybe they wouldn't be wanting to tell
Wouldn't
people.
be forthright about it, you think?
I mean, we could ask. I am curious how and why. Whether anyone noticed these strange other people who probably weren't associated with the project coming in.
And not leaving.
And yeah, but
There's probably a lot of people in this building. I mean, in this facility to just start randomly grabbing people and go, "What do you know?" Smack, smack.
that
Concrete questions in that.
I am curious if the marshal who we first talked to knew anything about this secret room or the orders from the operator
It had to be
to
constructed at some point.
basically not tell anyone who was coming and going.
Alright, I want to step out of the facility.
Okay.
What's immediately nearby?
So again, you are at the headquarters of House Denise, so it is very much a militaristic base. So what's nearby is really, lodging and training grounds, and I mean it's a massive enclave.
Yeah.
So you've got soldiers, you've got mercenaries, you've got administrative staff, and then you're also in a more secure research facility.
How many exits from the whole complex are there to the outside world?
Plenty.
Damn it.
Lots of them.
What time of day is it?
It's getting towards evening, so like it's close to. In fact, you guys can smell if you're all exiting. You know it's mess halls are gearing up to serve the mercenaries and soldiers and staff.
All right, I make my way towards the exit
Of the whole.
of the laboratory.
Oh, of the laboratory. Okay. Yep.
Yep. And I
I'm
go out the
standing
front
out
door.
front, just looking around.
And I march off back in the direction of the head steward's office.
I'm gonna tail him. Not like stealth tail. I'm just gonna tag along.
Follow.
Yeah.
Go with.
I suppose Mother will as well. Be your lawful cop.
And then when I get there, I want to take a position up across the street and watch to see who leaves.
I'll just
Okay.
kind of sidle up next to him. It's like, what are you doing?
Following a lead.
Which lead?
I don't respond.
Okay.
Is there what looks like a head police station or otherwise law enforcement, like, main building?
You would assume there would be one, but it's not where you are. So short of, and you've never been here before,
Okay.
so
I want
you wouldn't know where.
I want to wander up to someone who looks like they know something, like
Okay.
the area.
All right. So you're gonna kind of walk around. There's a lot of people getting ready to leave, like administrative offices and things like that. You see lots of groups of people heading towards like either exits or heading towards mess halls. And so you're kind of going looking for someone. While that's happening, Lob, you see the gnome that you saw earlier
All right. Does she see me?
exiting. I'm gonna say no.
Okay. I follow, but I'm not stealthing.
Okay.
I stay 30 to 40 feet behind her.
She.
Like I said, I'm not stealthing, so if she
Okay.
turns around, I'm there.
Okay. She is alone. Mother, what are you doing?
I suppose I will.
Are you going with Lob? Or are you going with?
Does the gnome come out with some of her coworkers?
No, that's what I was going to say. She is alone. There are
so
coworkers.
It's pretty obvious who I'm following then.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, but there's a lot of people that are moving in the same direction, so it wouldn't be too obvious. But before we get too far down that path, Mother, are you going with Lob? Are you going with Dove? Or are you staying there in front of the building?
I would say probably following Lob since he gave a clearer lead.
Sure. All right.
I have a lead. That's the amount of information I gave you.
Well, Dove just wandered off, so
Yep.
you know.
All right.
I'm just looking around and I...
Yep.
Okay.
So
I just kind of roll my eyes at like that, and like, that's typical.
So basically, there's this huge orc following a gnome, and then behind him, a slightly larger warforged following him about 20 feet back.
Perfect.
Like a lost little puppy or something,
it all lines up.
All right. So, real quick, Dove, you find someone that you can ask some general directions.
Yep. That's all I'm looking for.
What are you looking for?
Where do I go to report a missing person?
The person just kind of like looks at you and is like, and he gives you directions to the not necessarily military police, but the equivalent that the mercenary companies, because I mean, come on, they're mercenary companies. They're rough and tumble. There's a pretty significantly sized military police. So they give you the directions to that. Are you going to head that way?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to let you walk on that way. As the two of you, Mother and Lob, you're following behind this gnome. Someone is coming in. So, like, she's heading towards the general area of the mess halls.
All right. It's Dalavash and I'm going to mispronounce her name.
Saf.
Did they stay behind at the lab?
I'm assuming so. I didn't get a clear indication. Dalavash, were you hanging back?
Yeah, I was staying at the lab.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume Safiel and him are hanging back.
Okay.
So someone's coming, like, going to intersect, but the way they're heading, they're going to end up walking between you and the gnome. But as they get closer, the gnome turns to answer a question they asked. You can't quite make it out, but you see that she notices you.
Yep.
And her eyes get big. She kind of turns away from the person that was asking the question, and they just kind of like whatever, and keep walking. She takes a few more steps, hesitates, turns, takes 3 steps towards you, turns again, but then stops and waits. Now? So she takes about 3 steps towards you.
Yep.
Seems to hesitate, turns back around towards the mess hall.
Okay, so her back is to me.
Yes, but then she stops and just turns and waits for you.
Ooh.
To see if you're going to continue.
No, I walk up to her.
Okay. Hello, can I help you?
Yeah, perhaps you can.
I'll be right back.
I don't know that I can. I mean, I'll do my best, but... And then she just kind of goes silent.
What is your job in the head steward's office?
Record keeper.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who my associate is? And I motion to Mother. Have you ever seen a Warforged before?
Oh, sure.
Have you ever seen an orc before?
Yes.
So you never answered my first question.
I know you're from the 12, yes?
Correct.
Hear about Godwin?
Yes. What do you know about Godwin?
He's gone.
And that's all you know? He's never been in the office?
Oh no. Not for us, no. However, others were.
What
Just
others?
kind of the Dark One, the elf. He came asking about records. He
What's
he
his
went
name?
straight to me. Sayvel.
Sayvel, yep.
Therani.
Yep.
So he was the elf that joined right at the end.
He's our number one suspect. Because his background, his notes are full of red herrings.
Oh, is this the guy that joined at the last minute?
Yep. Veteran of 100 assignments.
Mm-hmm.
An unknown number of confirmed kills.
Mm.
And what did Savell want?
Records.
What records?
Requisitions mostly, but equipment.
Records of requisitions? So requisitions that already happened.
Yes.
If they are records of the future, they are typically divinations, not requisitions.
I give a smoldering glare to Mother.
I love it.
You'd literally see like the smoke curl from my eyes.
She kind of just bites her lip, has no idea what to make of that.
What kind of requisitions? All requisitions or a particular kind?
Oh no, just what Amariel requested.
Hmm.
Do you have access to these records?
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing them with us?
I'll have to take them out. I don't think you'd be welcome back to the records room.
Oh, we'll be welcomed.
Severon
Perhaps
went to
I
see
will
the
be.
marshal. I can get you the records.
Did he now?
After
Well,
you left.
that does not bode well for him.
What did you do, Vob?
I had a conversation.
Have you upset your weeds again?
I ignore that.
Disrupted the orderly records?
I ignore that as well.
I can
Listen.
get you the records.
Excellent. We will. The time is of the essence. We will escort you back to the office.
No, I'll go now. You wait out here.
How about if Mother goes with you?
Oh, sure.
My apologies, by the way, for my colleague's behavior.
She suddenly realizes that
By the way, I want everyone to notice that I have not rolled intimidation at all yet.
She finally recognizes that when you say mother, you're talking about the Warforged next to you. And she goes, "Oh, him? Here? Yeah?
They.
My
Whichever you
apologies.
prefer, madam.
Yes, you're more than welcome. Severon's not that bad. I just don't want to cause more fuss. Yes?
Of course.
Come, let's go." And she heads back that way. She's kind of looking at everyone, and she, you notice she takes a totally different way. You guys enter an adjoining building, and she takes you through a series of halls. Some of them are pretty tight squeezes, but you guys make it through, and soon enough she pulls out this, like, almost like a fob, and you guys would know it's a pass key. She holds it up to the door. Door opens, and she motions Mother inside.
Okay.
She kind of sets you up in an adjacent, like, waiting area outside. There's like an open square with some waiting areas, and it's like a junction of 4 different wings.
Are you talking to Mother, or are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you, Lob.
I don't enter the building.
Oh, you don't go in at all. Okay.
No.
Okay. So you're back outside then. She doesn't have to worry about hiding you out. She takes Mother inside, and you see her enter into another office, which she uses her key fob again. She gets in, and you see just bookshelf after bookshelf of these really fat tomes. And she's kind of like scrolling through. There's a ladder. She climbs up. And then there's another one. Be it, dear. Hand me that one. And she kind of points. Not
Tall
no,
person.
the blue one. So she points to this blue tome that you're able to reach without needing the ladder. You guys end up getting 4 or 5 tomes down, and like where she was, she kind of rearranged the tomes so it's not completely obvious that some are missing. These are the ones. He was most interested in a particular time after the lab was established here. Yes, these are the ones. With this work, and she kind of asks you in a timid voice.
I think so. This will take some checking, but I believe this may be important. Thank you very much, madam. May I also ask, did Mr. Stivell express any concerns about the project or any other personnel?
I don't think he liked Amaria. There was talk amongst the stewards of arguments.
So the elf guy that's part of the operator team didn't like the head researcher. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right.
I had heard mention of conflict. Do you know anything of what these arguments were?
Oh no. You know how it is. People just talk, but I don't think I don't know what's true and what's not. I wouldn't want to say.
I understand.
The researchers didn't live in the lab, right?
Correct. They did not live in the lab.
Okay.
Do you know who if anyone heard about their argument or might be a more direct source about them?
You could. Jolman was the steward assigned to the lab. He'd be the one to ask, but I don't think he had. We were ordered to stay away. They didn't want anyone entering the lab. So I don't know.
I see. Well, thank you. You have been most helpful, and I am also in awe of this impressive organization, system, and security. But thank you.
that she gets quite happy about. Oh, thank you. We do our best. Yes.
Very orderly. You must have, perhaps not knowledge, but very well kept, very well run. I like it.
Thank you. Let me know if there's anything else you require.
Thank you. I am most appreciative of your effort.
All right. So you are leaving with 3 pretty significantly sized tomes that contain. They're basically ledgers. And she kind of points your way, and this time she just points the direct way out. Most likely, it's the way you saw her exit from earlier. So you're able to make your way back. Now, while that's happening, Dove, you make your way towards a very different set. The whole place has a militaristic feel, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is very, utilitarian. It's very Spartan. There's, this is not a place that's made to be beautiful to behold, and breathtaking vistas and scenes of gardens, plazas, fountains. Nope, this is very much a military compound. But the place that you go to now, somewhat similar to the research facility, looks more like a stronghold within the stronghold.
Okay.
There is a lot of activity. There are horses coming and going. There's a lot of different, almost looking like battle wagons that you can kind of see, like fortified carriages and things like that. Equipment and things beyond, that you can see the tops of it over a wall. There's big gates that slide, and there's men on duty everywhere.
Is this mostly because of our proximity to the Mournlands?
Nope.
This military presence? No.
No, this is what House Deneath is all about.
Okay.
They're they're the only house with an actual standing army, because they hire out mercenary companies to anyone.
Yeah, because we talked about how they've been hired by all sides of the same war.
All
to fight each
sides.
other and...
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to go into whatever the head office is. Oh no, Nate's camera went away.
Oops.
Now you're just a purple owl.
So, as you approach the facility, there are guards stationed before the entrance, and one of them comes up to you, nods respectfully, and says, "Yes, ma'am. May I help you?"
Where would I go to report a missing person?
You're here at the right place, ma'am. Let me escort you inside. Yes?
Very good.
He kind of nods and motions for you to follow. But he takes a nice easy pace, and his companion is just kind of settles in where the two were set side by side, and he walks in. You new here, miss?
Yeah, just got here this morning.
Welcome to the stronghold.
Do we have something that indicates our authority level?
You bet ya.
Okay.
You've got a lot of different documents that you can flash.
Okay.
Some of them are even legit.
Right.
So yeah. He has not asked for papers.
No.
Are you with the 12?
I just smile. It's like, I see that word has preceded my arrival.
Soldiers love to gossip, ma'am.
Yeah, among other things.
he just grins. He takes you on a stroll, and after a little bit longer, he says, are you here about Godwin?
Yes. Is there anything you could tell me?
I hope you find him. I served with him. He's a good man.
Do you remember when the last time was that you saw him?
Ooh. He kind of stops. Been some time, yeah. He joined the 12, and I haven't really talked to him in years.
But you knew he was serving on this base.
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't run into him?
I saw him once or twice, but he's a busy man. Don't know that he'd remember me. And
oh, that's too bad. Sounds like you were friends.
He just stops again. He says, "He's a good man."
And we're going to do everything we can to find him. And the research.
Excellent. Best of luck to you. And he points to a door where there's a busy office area. People kind of running around. You see all kinds of different races. You see quite a few Warforged.
Okay.
Quite a few. You see pretty much all kinds of different races. Half-orcs. You see humans. You see some tieflings. And there is actually a tabaxi sitting at the what looks like a station desk that's kind of central before you go back to the main area. And so the guy that was escorting you, he just kind of waves you in and then takes his leave.
Okay. Do I have to wait in line, or can I get my way?
No, there's no one waiting at the desk.
Oh, all right.
He pointed to the tabaxi that was sitting there.
So I'll head over to him.
Okay.
Just kind of lean against the countertop.
Set up. He just he's kind of shuffling papers back and forth, taking them from this stack. He's got this whole crazy system, and he kind of looks up, makes eye contact, but continues doing what he's doing, gets into some, a little bit of a rhythm. It's kind of annoying for a little bit, but then he finally gets to a point where he stops and he says, "Yes, ma'am. May I help you?"
I'm conducting some research for the 12.
He just looks down and he says, "Papers. Do you have documents?"
I'll pull out whatever gives me the fastest route to information.
Okay.
The badge of I'm the boss here.
Yep, pretty much. You pull out your arbitrator documentation that basically shows your rank within the 12.
Yep.
Very good, ma'am. How may I be of assistance?
Have you had a mysterious batch of missing person reports about a week ago?
He kind of thinks, there's always something. There's always someone. AWOL, disappearances. Can you be a bit more specific?
Judging by the garments we have a rough idea of, like, the genders and maybe body types of the people that went missing. Right?
Oh, you're asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
Yeah, you're thinking at least 3 female
Yeah.
and 2 male.
Okay. So I'll mention that.
Be our guest.
I would think that men going disappearing would be pretty common in a place like this, but women will be a little bit more rare, maybe? Maybe I'm being sexist here, but...
Yep. He just kind of says, I mean, you're authorized to see the files. I could take you to the missing persons reports, but I'm afraid you're going to see quite a bit. If you could narrow it down in any way, give us more information. He kind of...
Yeah, shit ton of leads right now. I would like to look, though.
You may ask what this is in relations to. Are you...
We're investigating the disappearance of Godwin's research team, and beyond that, I'm not at liberty to say.
He kind of steps back. We received reports. There was some concerns. One moment. And he heads back, like into the back room. Right behind him, it's like this wall, and on it's like a partition that you can go on both sides of. So you could do like a circle around it, but it's really wide, blocks the back. He goes around one side, and a moment later he comes back around the other side, carrying another ledger. Puts it down, starts flipping through some pages, kind of looking. Yes. There was a report of a grievance. Yes, here it is. There was a grievance filed on by Godwin himself, actually. He turns the ledger around.
I was just gonna say, if he doesn't, I was gonna grab it and turn it around myself.
Yeah, and he kind of points it to you, and it talks about a disturbance between Savel,
our same two,
and
coming up.
Amariel. Yep.
All right.
Godwin had requested that he be detained. However, before he could, Savel disappeared. Like he went missing. He couldn't be found.
So one went missing first, and then the rest followed suit?
Savel went missing first, and then but this was 3 weeks ago. It looks like the charges were not pursued. That's all there is.
But he disappeared 3 weeks ago, and then the rest of the expedition disappeared 1 week ago.
It's not. Be careful, because that's not what it's saying.
Okay.
All that this is saying is that 3 weeks ago a complaint was filed, but nothing was done.
Right. Okay.
So you can't really infer too much other than that Godwin himself filed the complaint.
Okay. Does he file it specifically against one or the other guy?
Yeah, he filed it against Savel, asking to detain him. But when they went to detain him, he was gone. but it doesn't say they tried again ever.
Okay, so he could have just been hiding or not home or whatever at the time. I gotcha.
He kind of says, "This is odd in that the case is technically still open, but no one's assigned. Interesting.
Is that not? That's not normal, then I take it.
No. Let me see. Yes." And he writes down the name of the investigator that was assigned.
Okay, and where can I find this?
He checks another thing, and then he steps back he holds up a furry finger and says, "Be right back," and returns, and he says, he is scheduled to be on shift this evening.
I thought it was.
I can have him. Yeah, but you assume it's like later,
like late
evening. Okay. Yeah, I could have him. If Ma'am will tell me where I can send him, I will send him to you.
What time would that be?
Approximately 4 hours.
All right.
So not super late, but
yep.
Later.
All right. I will give them the location wherever we've been assigned quarters.
Yep.
To meet us there in the lobby of the hotel or whatever it is.
Sure. You guys are being put up into like the visiting officers' quarters.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
Indeed.
Time is of the essence. I must be.
We're all hopeful that Godwin's team will be found.
Well, that's why we're here.
Good luck.
And I just pat the desk and head out the door.
All right. So around that time, Mother's returning with his tomes, but I'm assuming you guys aren't going to want to hang out there.
No.
Where?
You already answered this question.
Okay.
With where we're staying, but as far as my recollection, we pretty much arrived in town and got like right to work.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't even bother to ask like where are we staying.
Right.
They probably just told us where we're staying.
They told, but no one has taken you yet.
We haven't actually been there.
All right. Well, I tell Mother we should swing back by the lab and grab the other two, and then find out where we're staying, because going through those tomes is going to require some time and some privacy.
Indeed.
Okay.
Where I'm going next.
Where are you going next?
I'm going to try to find out where Godwin and his team were sleeping.
Okay.
And investigate their quarters.
Okay. All right. So you guys are heading back to the lab. While this is happening, Dalavash.
Mm-hmm.
Not too long after they left, a steward comes by, and where are you guys hanging out? You're in the mystery room?
Yeah, I'm probably in here still.
Okay.
Looking around at all this blood and stuff.
The steward comes into the room or into the facilities. They're looking around after not finding you in either this room or this room. They poke their heads in here, and you kind of hear like a gasp of astonishment from out in the room. What do you do?
I'll stick my head out.
All right, you see someone you don't recognize, just kind of staring open-mouthed at the bookshelf and the room in between. I'm assuming you probably would have put like some torches or something in here, or maybe taken one of these ever-burning. I'm going to say that you probably just took like a torch off the wall and brought it in here.
Okay.
But because I don't know, I think it was Mother that cast the light.
Yeah.
That would be no more.
Right. Okay, yeah, I don't think I have any dark vision.
No worries. We're gonna just take this guy.
Where are you at? I can spy on you.
Oh, in the hidden room.
You can actually change his token. Like if he casts dark vision or light on himself, you can just change his token, and it won't save it to his token forever. It'll just save it for this map.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll just throw some light in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's something we do all the time when someone's, because there's always a human with dark vision spell on them.
That's true.
Like all the time. And you don't want the whole group to be able to see what that one person should be able to see.
Those stupid humans.
I know, right? Yeah. That's why I wrestled with being a human.
Yeah, it's only roll 20, and now that vision has become an actual thing.
Yeah.
That human seems very unsatisfactory.
All of a sudden, yeah. I know, I thought about the Shadow Sorcerer just for the 120-foot dark vision.
Oh, man.
No.
Well, all right, so Dalvash, you see there's just a steward here.
Is there a problem?
They kind of like look. No, sir. I was just here to escort your team to the mess hall, sir.
Oh, right. Has the sun come down yet?
Not quite yet, but soon.
Okay.
It's probably about like 6 p.m., but it's like, 6:30 p.m. And it's like, similar to our time. It's like mid-spring before summer. So you've got still plenty of sunlight.
Okay. Well, the group is split up right now, so, and I'm not sure exactly where they all went. They just took off.
He just kind of like points to the room and says, "You found that?"
Yes, we did. We are quite thorough,
And he just kind of like nods in appreciation. Would you like me to return, or would you like food sent to the lab? And he's like trying to kind of peer in and see what's in the room, but he can't quite really make too much out.
Why don't you return after sundown?
Of course. And he kind of bows and until then, and then he kind of scurries out of the room. So after a while, I would say by the time that Lob and Mother return, it's probably been about at least half an hour. So Mother and Lob, you guys head back to the lab. You get back.
Okay. Have you seen Dove?
No, I thought she went with you.
She did, but then she went and did her own thing.
Oh. Well, she hasn't been back here yet.
Well, hopefully she hasn't succumb to some attack or some such.
Yeah.
Why does
Well-
nobody communicate here?
We need like comm units,
Yeah.
sending stones.
I have telepathy, but right now I have to be within 10 feet of someone to use it.
Oh man, 10 feet. Good lord.
It's
It's 10 times your level.
It's 10 feet.
Xanon is so much more talented than Galavash.
Communication does
Really?
not require telepathy.
Does Dalavash say that out loud? About telepathy?
Sure.
Alright. I just look at him and I'm like, you can't just talk to someone?
Well, there's that too, I suppose. Sometimes for Calistar, it's more almost natural just to talk telepathically.
Wake we faster.
Yes.
Alright, well,
Speaking of talking to people,
Yes.
yes, we're waiting.
Just kind of trailed off
I
there.
am attempting this thing called humor, suggestion, illusion.
Communication.
Speaking of talking to people, we could have mentioned where each other were going, but anyway, here we are.
We're still new at
No.
this,
That's not how we operate.
right?
Correction, that is not how you operate. Or Dove, apparently.
I was going to say, that does not seem apparent, Mother.
Ah, is this one of these puns?
I roll my eyes and be like, do you have business in the lab? Because we were going to find some food to eat and find our lodgings for the night. We have some material. Well, Mother has some material to go over.
The steward was going to come and get me after sundown. I want to see what we can see through that telescope once the sun goes down.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I'll wait with you. I don't know about Mother.
That's fine.
Perhaps Mother will need to punish you.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna walk away now.
Yeah, just
And I'm gonna go over here in the corner where there's this chair in the globe,
someone pull Mother's humor chip out and throw it away.
and I'm gonna sit in the chair and ignore Mother.
All right. Are you guys going to look at the tomes at all, or are you going to wait on?
Mother will
edges.
start looking at one.
I was going to say, yeah, we can start looking at them while waiting, I guess.
Will, I guess, impart to the others the information about conflict between Cyvel and research head Amariel.
Hmm.
And Cyvel was investigating these same records, so perhaps these requisition records, not divination records. And so perhaps these will have some answers as to what equipment was of interest. And I will take one and start looking through it.
All right. Well, there's four of you technically, so everyone can grab like a book or whatever and start looking through. It's hard to see. You guys kind of get an idea of the scope of the equipment. There was quite a bit of equipment, and you can see it started about 6 months ago. A lot of equipment was brought in. It was equipment that Amariel already had. So when the lab was set up, most of the equipment was just, there's nothing specific listed. It's just like notes about the lab being set up. So the equipment was brought in. It was his own equipment. There's no inventory on it. and it was just all set up. However, after that, there were pretty standard equipment. About 3 months after they started getting shipments from what looks like it might be like a local vendor.
It was barrels, wasn't it?
It was not. They were big like shipping containers.
Ooh.
Like containers, not stuff in the containers?
Just the containers.
Shipping victims.
And there is, I'm
Maybe,
guessing,
But if
no-
they
I'm not here.
requisitions,
So what's
I'm still gonna say what
go ahead.
if they requisition shipping containers, where are these shipping containers?
Good question. We didn't see any in this whole laboratory, did we?
You did not.
Wait, really?
Well, it would be as big as some of these rooms.
No, it doesn't really say, but you guys can see, like the door would limit the size of the shipping containers.
Okay.
So you can have, what is it? 10 feet. 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to be brought into this room, and that's clearly what the ledgers say. Container delivered to. The only thing that it lists is the vendor.
Who's the vendor?
Abar Enterprises.
Does that sound familiar to any of us? Probably not.
It wouldn't.
Right.
But they did get regular shipments about every 3 weeks.
Of containers.
Yep, from Abar Enterprises.
How
There
many
are
are they
lots
getting?
of other things.
Was it that the containers were empty, or just that they were listed as containers and no one took?
Yeah, they were just deliveries. It was just a record of them being delivered.
Because I think these guys were thinking that you were saying they were just getting empty containers.
I see. Nope, not. It doesn't say what was in
Don't know
them.
what was in them, right?
They're shipments, but the only identifying information was that they're just shipping containers. So think of them as like really big Amazon boxes, right?
They were getting regular.
They're
boxes
getting
from
deliveries.
Amazon. What's in it?
Yeah, but not. They weren't screened or opened. The contents of the containers
From this one company.
from this one company.
Were there any records?
So, if the records aren't saying that the company made these shipping containers, they were just getting
Just sent
something in containers
From the
this
company.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
Does it mention records of returning the containers or sending containers to anyone?
No.
Okay.
Does it say where this company is located? Like, where were they shipped from?
You don't. So you.
Or what ships they came in on? Or what
Right,
transportation
right.
that they used?
Actually, yes, it does. So in one of the ledgers is the deliveries, right, as well as other requisitions. There were other normal, nothing suspicious here requisitions, right, of just specific materials and specific items. Some of them might have been arcane in nature. Some of them more along the lines of something you'd get from like a blacksmith maybe or something, as well as leatherworking goods and things like that. But we're talking about things that kind of make sense: belts and harnesses. Nothing that seems like nefarious. But in one of the other ledgers
belts and harnesses doesn't seem nefarious when they're supposed to be researching shields.
We're not talking about like restraints, right? Vests and things like that.
Okay.
It doesn't specifically list like manacles or ways to like bind and subdue people, right? That's what I'm getting at.
All right.
Right?
How about the stuff in the secret room? Is there any, like in the ledgers? Is there anything acquisitioned for anything in that room, like the paint to make the pentagram, or the barrels that the clothing was in, or
nothing that you
even,
can see.
stuff to make that room?
Nothing that you can see or is readily, visible. However, in the other journal, it's more of a accounts receivable, accounts payable type ledger, and it lists Abar Enterprises as a local company.
Okay.
To Carlacton.
Perhaps we can visit that tomorrow.
I was thinking that too.
So I'm guessing if this room was built recently, it's at least not listed here. I'm not sure if it would be anyway, but I am curious about these bookshelves, if fake bookshelves or something like that are listed anywhere.
Well, the bookshelves are real bookshelves. The only difference with that middle bookshelf is it swivels.
I see, yeah.
And you could, looking carefully at them, it doesn't look like it's a secret room or a built room. It looks like the bookcase was designed to hide the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's not surprising if Safiel and Dalavash share the reaction of the little steward that visited. He was clearly surprised to see it, but none of you would think that the room was built. It is clearly a continuation of the room. It was just hidden by the bookshelf and soundproofed. You don't see anything though that relates to any of the items, the implements in that room. You can't see a single shipment, and because all of the shipments from Abar Enterprises are no inventory, it's hard to say. It could have been in any one of those shipments or none of them.
So from where I'm going to where we're staying, or where the research team was staying, do I have to walk past the lab again, or is it completely unconnected?
You would walk past the lab again.
Okay. Then I'll pop back in before I head over there.
All right. So after about the time you guys are just kind of finding out some of this information from the ledgers, I'm going to say, Dove, you would have come by because their little excursion happened alongside of your little excursion. So you guys would have arrived. You would have arrived back just a little bit later than they did.
Okay. So I come in the doorway and lean up against the door just like my token's doing right now.
Okay.
All right.
Did you change your token to make that pose?
I did. Come on.
That's amazing.
Once you come in, I'm going to walk up to within 10 feet of you and then telepathically tell you what we found.
Oh, snap. Brian's using his abilities.
I look over, still seated.
Uh-huh.
I kind of just lean my head and I'm like, "You're doing that thing, aren't you?"
Yes, indeed. Like I said, sometimes it's more natural than speaking.
So he telepathically communicates to me, and I'm like, you're standing right there, right? Like I can hear you.
I walk over to Lob and telepathically
Dove,
say,
do you say that, or you
Yes,
telepathically?
yeah, no, I said it.
And then immediately I follow that up with, "That's what I said."
then I walk over to Lob and I telepathically tell him, you should try this
Nope,
sometime.
nope, get out of my head! Get out of my head!
To which I said, speech is unnecessarily slow.
See, he gets it.
There's nothing.
It gets it.
Low
I'm gonna
bandwidth
say- I'm
from
gonna say-
sound.
There's nothing unusual about people disappearing around here, so we're not going to be able to pinpoint the 5 individuals that. And I just kind of gesture toward the secret room. I said, but I do know where the research team was spending their days outside of the lab if anyone wants to check it out with me.
So you do not think...
I think it's going to be too
You
difficult
were-
to figure out which people were killed for whatever dark experiments they were conducting in that room over there.
Well,
Hey,
you-
Real
Sorry,
quick, to answer a question that Dalavash had, there were 9 shipments from A-Bar Enterprises.
9 altogether.
Over the course of how long?
It lasts 3 months,
Okay.
and it wasn't always just one box. Sometimes there were 2 or 3 boxes. So they got a lot of stuff from them, whatever it was.
So, is A-Bar Industries, and you don't answer this unless, like, we're gonna find out the following day, but is it a shipping company? Is it like UPS? Alright.
That's more like Walmart.
Yeah, for shipping and things like that, all of that's done through house or.
So the place that Dove went to is basically the military police. They deal with just, or I guess I should ask, do they deal just with missing persons from this enclave?
Yes.
Okay. And these clothes we found, did they look like... They didn't look like uniforms of House Denise persons. They
The
were
one thing you would know for sure is that the clothing of everyone you see around you looks good. It's not fashionable, it's not, but it is new, pretty new. It's not like worn, like they're, it's all, and the stuff that you guys found is pretty worn. So it's probably unlikely that the clothing belongs to members of House Denise. However, you don't really know about some of the mercenary companies. You haven't seen too many of those. So it's something that you're not totally sure of, but you could probably rule out any of the staff that you've seen so far.
The clothing's
And,
here, but where's the bodies?
Right. I know, right? How'd they get rid of them?
2 things here. So first, so it sounds unlikely if they are from outside, then they probably wouldn't have been recorded by the missing persons office, I'm guessing.
Well, my thought was if they lived here, friends of theirs would report them missing. So I thought we could track down the missing people, but there's enough people missing on a regular basis that we're not going to be able to pinpoint the 5 specific people whose clothes we found.
But
I did find out... Oh, go ahead.
But we didn't open all the barrels, right? We only opened a couple. So
Most of them
barrels had 5 individual sets of clothing, right? No?
No, they opened. Most of the barrels are. They
what?
found most of the barrels are empty.
All right.
So they found some stuff in a few barrels, but most of the barrels are empty.
Alright.
And the others have what looks like just rubbish and stuff.
So on the where did the bodies go, I'm guessing they fed them to that plant or whatever that pool is for in the other room, hence the restraints and stuff we found in there.
Gross.
but maybe they couldn't get rid of the clothing.
I did find out that Denise filed a incident report against Surveil.
Of course they did.
Yeah, and they tried to have him arrested or detained, and he wasn't around. And that was 3 weeks ago.
Most peculiar.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does seem to hold up to the other information we found out about their connections. He's still suspect
Well,
number
perhaps-
1, which is why I'm going to head to his place now and see what I can turn over.
Perhaps
Maybe.
we should also
But
talk
you might
to...
want to consider that it may also be the other way around.
Right, yeah, I suspect it is one of the two. We may wish to talk to that first steward again. I believe they were the one who had overheard about the conflict, the arguments between Savael and the head researcher.
The gnome?
No, the first steward who had showed us this place, Jorn or something.
Jorman.
Jorman. Was that the same person?
It's
who
the
first showed
first person you talked to, Lob.
us? Okay.
But is it my contact? No, not my contact.
No, it was the first person you talked to who told you that he discovered that the equipment had moved 7 days prior to people making a big deal of it, right? He reported it to Severon, his supervisor, who you then talked to and threatened and all that happy stuff.
Okay.
But Jorman was the first guy you talked to that was responsible for the maintenance and cleaning and care of the facility.
Was he the guy that returned to talk to Dalavash to say that it was time for dinner? Was it that guy?
That was a different steward.
Alright.
So yeah, I suggest we talk to Jorman again at some point to ask if what he knows about the content of those arguments, as well as possibly who was doing the cleaning in their secret room, if anyone knows.
Well, apparently it wasn't a very good cleaning job, so I'm guessing it was probably the research team themselves and not like outside contractors.
True,
think
but
that
I
would've
would
got
like to
reported
rule
too.
it out.
Alright, well,
Also,
Maybe,
no one
but
going with me
there's
'cause I'm heading
also
over there.
Isn't there magical ways to clean things?
prestidigitation, yeah. Also, I just have to get this off my chest with the word steward being thrown around so much I can't help but think of the little Bastion stewards from WoW.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they're not little owl people, I don't think, here.
Is the sun down yet?
I think I would say, yeah. You guys have been talking. 8 o'clock. Sun's down.
Are they staying close to where we're staying? Or were they staying close to where we're staying?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Because I got to be around there in 4 hours anyway. 3 hours by now.
Yep.
Doesn't Dalavash want to do something?
Mm-hmm. I want to look through that telescope, see what's there,
Oh, yeah.
what it's fixed on.
You see a woman changing. You're like, those dirty bastards.
Probably nothing. But...
Huh.
Hmm?
And that woman is
I was
the Lady
looking
of
up-
Pain.
Oh.
I was looking up the steward.
Oh, from WoW?
Yeah. I haven't played that in so long, so I don't.
It's from this current expansion, that's why.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
That's great. All right, so Brian, Dalvash, you wanted to check out the
Telescope.
there you go. I'm gonna have you roll. I'm gonna have you roll just a straight intellect. Dang.
Not bad.
Okay. All right. So you look through, and you see some controls and things like that, but you look through, and you're able to see it looks like there's some correlation between the orrery and what you're looking at. In so much as I'm going to say that this right here is Everon. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you are looking this way.
Okay.
Okay. So the telescope is showing you a near perfect alignment of these two celestial bodies.
So it wasn't a red herring. Well, or it still could be, but
So it looks like there's a correlation between this and setting the actual orrery.
Right. Do I know what planets these are? Probably not.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
You'd probably have a really good idea of constellations and things like that, but planets, no. But you're able to make these out because of the power of the telescope.
Right. Anyone else want to take a look?
Nope. I trust your judgment. Because I'm heading out the door.
I wonder if there is some grand conjunction of the planet they were looking for. I wonder in what ways these... I guess the rings don't spin?
Yeah,
They do. There are controls. So there are controls at each of these four like pillars, because it'll set the axis.
Does it look like it's currently accurate? Not that we're necessarily experts.
Brian rolled pretty high, but not high enough to tell. I think he can see that they're not quite in this same alignment anymore. In some, you see, like this planet seems to be moving more towards the alignment. You almost suspect that everything is heading for some type of an alignment.
What if we align them? What if we work together and we move these things around until they line up?
Yep. So you guys could try.
I wait 10 minutes. Have they succeeded in 10 minutes?
I'm going to say no.
All right, I leave.
Yeah, I am curious.
This is boring.
In which direction they're moving. Did the alignment already happen, or is it happening soon, or...
So what you guys find is that some slight movements, once you kind of figure out how everything moves, you've got these orbits and by moving the dials in a series to kind of working each one either systematically or all together, you can see you know enough about like the way the planets are rotating, and you can see that it's something that may be happening soon or maybe already. You're not totally sure, but it looks like with very little movement, there comes into a pretty good alignment. You're not able to get it perfect, and you don't know if that's because it's not perfect or if you just don't know how to move the machine, and in fiddling with it you put some out of alignment. You can't use the telescope to set it. I mean, it's just but it's not far out from some of them being in a line.
Okay.
What we had in here looked like it could have been a religious sort of sacrifice, potentially. What we have out here looks like something that could go along with some sort of a doomsday prophecy, almost. I wonder if the two are related.
Yeah, I can't really see how the ritual sacrifice thing works with shield magic anyway. I think something's not right.
Draconic? I wonder if my character would know much about this. Maybe I should do an Arcana check, but the Draconic Prophecy?
Well, it came up earlier that it might be related to the orrery thing.
Perhaps it predicted conditions under which such a shield would be developed or something?
Yeah, we don't know why they were developing this shield, do we?
Well, other than the fact it's a personal shield that can block physical and arcane, that's pretty valuable.
Yeah, and
you can see why House
style mercenary place.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
working on military tech all the time.
Since the Treaty of Thronehold, they've been trying to figure out how to replace Warforged.
Mm-hmm.
Warforged were essential, and House Deneath actually had quite a few Warforged making up parts of their mercenary companies, right? And so it is totally understandable, why they would be doing that. Hey, kiddo. Good night. Love you. All right, so it's like I said, it's fairly obvious why House Deneath is interested.
Okay. Well, yeah, I still want to check out their apartments.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I would like to first record the positions of first the telescope and where it is now, and where the orrery had been before we moved it, and then try to use the telescope to look around at where and figure out where the planets are now and get a sense of, has this grand conjunction already happened, or is it maybe going to soon, or...
I'm going to say that taking down, like, had your character kind of thought about that, no problem. You can record the positions, like you could have said, before we adjust this, let's record where they are now. So the telescope has not been adjusted, so that's easy. You've got that. And before you started, you made some marks, maybe took some chalk or something, and you made some marks, and there are gauges and dials, right? There are degrees and things like that on the controls. So you could precisely note down, but this is truly beyond your character's abilities.
Okay.
And so you could spend quite a bit of time and not be certain of anything. However, you know, even from, you know, your work in the 12, there are people, there are experts that you can call upon, possibly even some here, to potentially give you that information. But
Okay.
your ability to get it yourself, you can see it's probably not going to happen.
Okay, so that's another lead. We should try to find an astronomer or astrologer and see when is this happening and is there some magical significance?
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do here in the laboratory before making your way? And Lob's already left, so...
I'm right behind him.
Okay. All right. So you guys are going to make your way towards your quarters. And you also quickly find out that their quarters are practically empty.
Theirs are?
Yeah.
Do they look like purposefully emptied or like tossed?
No, purposely empty.
Okay.
They're neat, orderly. The only one that's not... Now, there are some personal effects, right?
Okay.
So some things did get left behind. There's some clothing. There's, some personal items, but not many. The only one that looks like completely cleared out, and it's almost like no one was ever there, is Savel's.
Okay.
His quarters look like no one was ever there.
Yep. Completely normal for an assassin.
Yeah. Like he never even moved in to begin with.
Yep.
But the fact that their stuff is taken makes it seem like they actively left on purpose and weren't like bumped off and eradicated unless he's really thorough and took care of their stuff.
Maybe, but they could have been charmed.
True. Alright, well if there's nothing else to see here, I guess I'll head over to wait for the guy to show up.
Now, at some point, stewards would have tracked you guys down and, directed you towards food, asked if you wanted food delivered. They're trying to do their best to see to your needs.
Mm-hmm. You can bring us food here. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an officer's lounge? I mean,
There-
we're being put up in officers' quarters,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Is there an officer's lounge?
There is.
All right, well, that's where I am.
All right.
I will join you there.
I mean, if it has tables and stuff, I might as well go there too so we can get some food and lounge.
You would have the ability, Dove, to leave word.
Mm-hmm.
So that in the event that the investigator swings by your quarters,
Come over here.
they could direct him over to the officer's quarters.
Okay.
So the officers' mess, officers' club, is not so much like a just giant open mess hall with, row after row of benches, but a series of tables. It looks like more like a restaurant, but also just more like a really big cafeteria with circular tables instead of, rectangular. And there are a lot of people, various officers gathered together at tables. Are you guys just going to try and find your own little table to sit down at?
Sure. After,
Yeah.
are there alcoholic beverages here?
There are.
After I acquire some beverages,
Okay.
yeah, find a table.
Okay. So you guys grab some food, you grab some drinks, and you sit down. You're kind of passing the time. The officers come and go, but a lot of them, stay and talk for a bit of time. But at this, it's a little bit more sparse since it's a little bit later in the evening.
I would like to.
Yep.
Sorry to I would like to actually, since I don't need to eat, I would like to talk to the officers and see if when the last time any of them saw was it just the team of the 12 or also the research team that was here?
It was both.
Okay. Yeah, see when the last time they saw any of those people in or around their quarters were, and if any of them saw, stuff being moved out of their quarters or things like that.
Is it who? If Mother's going around asking who's at the table?
I am.
I am.
All right. I kind of lean over to the Dove, and I go, "People are here to relax. I don't think they will take kindly to be asking questions."
In the lounge, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, hey, Em.
Oh, you rang?
Downtime.
Downtime?
Sit.
I do not understand this downtime of you Unforged, but very well.
All right, so if you guys are hanging out and not doing that, then I'm going to say
For now,
not too long, much sooner than the 3 hours. It's probably like, half an hour maybe after you get there. Someone walks in, two someone's actually, a man and a woman walk in, and they kind of look around, and then his gaze snaps to you and your red hair. And he purposely strides towards your table, followed by the woman.
Do we have two chairs free?
Yeah, you can, and if not, there's plenty of empty tables nearby where you could snag a few chairs.
Okay, so I'll motion them over.
They come up, and he introduces himself. He's High Marsh, or he is a sentinel, and it's Taryn de Deneath.
Okay.
Oh, he's a member of a house?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand you're on duty, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I
And then his real quick, his companion is he introduces as Meridia, and he does not give the date, so you don't
No
think that
surname at all?
she's. Yep.
And no relation to why does she look like that? Are they both wearing uniforms?
Yes, and he introduces her as his partner.
Okay.
Does she look more? This might require an insight check. Does she look more subservient to him, or more like his superior, or more like she's looking around the room for danger, like she's a bodyguard?
They're in the officers' quarter, so they don't seem to be looking around. They really seem to be equals. Neither one.
Partner.
Yep. Neither one is, but he is doing all the talking because he was the one that was on the. Well, you assume he's the one whose name was on the ledger,
Right.
and he comes and he says. I hear you've been looking into the complaint filed by Godwin.
Mm-hmm. And I hear you're the one that took the case, and it's still open, and you're not currently actively investigating. So, what have you got? What do you know?
He just kind of looks at his partner and says, Godwin changed his mind.
That's not in the report.
He wanted, and the woman breaks in. He wanted the case left open, but he changed his mind about picking up Sayville.
I give Lob like a sideways look. Like
No comment.
Mother stares, expressionless.
I kind of give a look at Dalavash and be like, "We're doing that thing."
He continues. He says, "We were set to capture or to apprehend Sayville, but
Apprehend him? Why?
there was a complaint filed that he was being violent, I think, is how it went.
correct. It
Violent
was requested
Against whom?
violent and insubordinate."
Amariel, whatever the elf guy's name was.
He did not specify,
The head
but
researcher?
we suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it all lines up with everything else. And you have... You said you went to apprehend him. Did you go into his location, his residence?
We were first dispatched to the laboratory itself.
Mm-hmm.
He was gone, and then we checked his residence.
Did you go
In
in or
neither
not?
place. We went in.
And was it suspiciously empty of materials, or did he look like he had been there recently?
His partner chimes in, like a ghost. Nothing. Couldn't even tell the place was lived in. But we saw, or 2 days later, Godwin called it off, but asked us to keep the case open. Apparently, they made up. Yes, he relented to the apprehension, and we did see Sayville later.
So how long
But-
was the investigation open for? Less than 24 hours?
Correct. We've done nothing since, and now he just kind of throws up his hands. Who knows?
Well, that's why we're here. To find them. When was the last time you saw either of them? A week ago?
No. Me? And he kind of looks at his partner. It's a month?
Yeah. I mean, do we know anybody that actually saw them a week ago, or is it just that a week ago was when they were discovered missing?
Yeah, I mean, the Jorman would have seen them since he was involved in the lab, and other people have confirmed their presence prior to a week ago.
Right, but it was a week before it was reported that they were missing,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
So it's actually been 2 weeks?
Well, we don't know, apparently.
Minimum of
No,
2
they
weeks?
they were missing the whole. So at least the week, right?
Right.
They could have been seen one day, everything was gone the next, but it wasn't reported till 7 days later. So now it's probably more like almost 2 weeks.
Okay.
You guys were
Yeah.
contacted pretty quickly, but a couple
Now-
days passed.
You are a member of House Deneath, right?
Yes.
Now, the report says House Kenneth is also interested in this research.
He
Where's
just
their
kind of shrugs.
Where is their representative?
They have members here, but I could not tell you. That was not part of our investigation.
Of course not.
His
don't
partner
provide-
says, I would check with and she rattles off some department. They usually maintain relations with the other houses.
Hmm.
Noted.
Well, if none of you guys have any other questions, I'd say we're done.
So, the timeline is... So this incident was closed. The case was not closed, but the apprehension was reversed. How long before the equipment disappeared?
The equipment at this point was probably like, I would say now it's almost like 10 days ago. Is when Jorman reported.
Okay. Okay, and then when did the fight and attempted apprehension happen?
That was like a
3
month
weeks ago?
previously. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so a month ago that happened, then...
I did say 3 weeks, so...
Okay.
So he was acting up, and Godwin probably came and said, "Hey, better clean up your act," and
Yeah.
reverse the
I'll
apprehension
drop the
and
charges
said-
if you smarten up. Yeah.
right. But I'm going to leave the case open in case it happens again.
And then a week passed, and then they disappeared.
They're all gone. Yeah. That's odd and suspicious, and I'm out of leads.
Have you
so,
have you heard of anyone around here in these quarters having seen them or their things in their quarters when that last happened, or people removing things from their quarters?
You're asking Taryn?
Yes.
This is not what we get involved with.
I
You need to talk to the stewards.
will do.
Yeah,
If there's nothing else.
we can talk to the stewards, and I crack my knuckles.
Alright. Nope. Don't want to keep you any longer than we have to. You may go. Thanks for your time.
Certainly.
If you remember
as-
anything else or hear or see anything, you know where to find us.
Indeed.
And don't hesitate to find us.
He turns to walk, and Merida kind of like Meridia. She pauses and she says, "Good luck in your investigation." Godwin was well liked.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
He was one of us. Not that you're not. You understand.
I just laugh.
Good day, or good evening.
So
And she
about
leaves.
10 o'clock? 11 o'clock?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably closer to like 9, but yeah.
I guess I would have liked to ask, did the investigator hear anything about the content of the arguments, but didn't sound like it.
There was nothing recorded, and
Okay.
Alright, so here's my initial thoughts. It was either Savell operating independently. He somehow charmed or manipulated the rest of the group to run away for some reason. Or Godwin is the actual protagonist
Antagonist?
and antagonist, sorry.
I'm
And he is a member of House Deneath, and he is hiding this research, or the lack of research, because, like someone said earlier, what was found in the secret room doesn't seem like it was SHIELD research from House Kenneth. and then the individuals that we just had a discussion with are from House Deneath. So,
Right.
if it was a conspiracy within House Deneath,
You'd think they'd be involved.
They would be involved.
Yep. Yeah, I'm tempted to lean toward the obvious, but I don't want to rule out that it's a ruse. Either way, what's our next move?
Next move is to go
The
to
stewards?
this. No, not the stewards. I mean, I'd love to go back to the stewards. The
I don't know
company,
what you did with them
the shipping company. I'm surprised. The guy we just talked to was, who was he in charge of?
He's security kind of detail, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
he's an investigator.
Then I haven't been reported. So.
Right.
Now I can't remember the name of that company.
Do
A
they
bar?
have
The what?
A bar, yeah.
Yeah, they're local.
They're local. Okay. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
check that out.
The
in
ones
morning,
the ones
'cause they're
that
probably
the ones
closed now.
the shipping crates came from. We can do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Albert or A-Bomb or I don't know whatever the name was.
A bar, I think it was.
A-Bar.
A-bar.
What do these guys do for fun around here? It's a whole town, right?
Yeah.
This is more of a town within a town. So Carlacton is home to not only the headquarters of House Deneath, it's also home to the most prestigious military school there is. Officer training. It's like the West Point of Corvair. And so, there's a lot of young, officer candidates from all over. And so the good part of town, the good part of town caters towards, that entertainment. And then there, like any town, there are good parts, bad parts, and everything in between. But it's a pretty big sized town. It's also on the border of the Mournlands.
Right.
Very, very close.
Because, not to derail the investigation, but I think we're done investigating, so I don't feel right if I'm not in a music-filled environment. So if I go wandering about...
You mean... Yeah, all right. You said done in the investigation. Done for
tonight. Right. If we're not getting...
Right.
If we're not...
done
we're
it.
not,
Mean we found them?
No. But we're not going to go...
I'm done.
I give up. No,
Fuck these guys.
We're not going to go to that shipping company at 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
But the bars are open till like 1 or 2, so...
Two additional possibilities I'd like to bring up. One is perhaps these ritual sacrifices were actually somehow involved in creating the shield. Perhaps they needed life energy or something for it, and
well, if we can
one
figure
of
out what
the
was in
people.
those crates when we started investigating the shipping company, then we can...
Right.
True.
We need to
and
find out
perhaps-
we need to find out what that ritual was as well.
But, yeah. But another possibility that just occurred to me, given this is, Karnath, was it?
The nation?
Yes.
Yes, Karnath is the nation.
They are the nation that makes undead, which theoretically they are not supposed to anymore, correct?
No, not necessarily true. Their whole society is built on a lot of undead
I thought you were going to say built on a lie. Our
workforce.
society's built on a lie.
Okay.
And to an extent, their armies, but no, they very much continue to use an undead workforce.
Okay.
And it's not quite like the Emerald Claw level.
Mm-hmm.
which that you're talking about, vampires and very, very sinister undead.
Are these... I should clarify. So are the undead that work for Karnath generally free-willed or kind of zombie sorts?
They're still, I believe they're still zombies.
Okay.
Not a lot of, let me see. Actually, it's actually in our journal.
Well, regardless, given that it is here in Karnath, and while House Denise may be separate from the nation, I wonder if there are some linkages. Perhaps this was, in fact, the shield idea was a front for some kind of experiments with undead.
Yeah, you are correct, Mother. They embraced the blood of Vol as the national religion, which is very much into undead, though not necessarily in the take over the world kind of way. But they have not continued to create new undead.
So it's like the Warforged, basically.
In a way, yes. But they are skeletons and and zombies. And there's actually, if you look at the cities and states, Fort Bones and Fort Zombie, I mean, there's practically no lights because it's all undead. No lights glow here as these undead rely on dark vision to see. So, there are whole sections still where it's just nothing but undead. Did I show that to you guys?
Yeah,
I did,
right?
right?
It popped up.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, I go find
And
something.
here you're not going to see any undead because House Denise does not use undead.
So they say.
So they say.
At least they don't overtly, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean they don't somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, there are a lot of leads and possibilities here.
Yep, nothing we can follow up on tonight.
Yeah. Mother, it's time for you to cut back and relax.
Relax.
Activate leisure mode.
Are you suggesting I find the local forge?
Sure, if
Sure,
you want.
sure.
If that's how you
Sure.
relax.
Exactly.
Go make a horseshoe or something.
One needs a method of meditation.
All right, so Dove's heading for a nightclub.
Or the equivalent.
Or the equivalent. Um,
I'm going to follow 20 to 30 steps behind her.
okay.
I'm gonna go to.
You want to go too?
30 steps as well, so we're just like...
No, he's gonna be 10 so that he can communicate.
I'm gonna be directly in between each of you so I can communicate with both of you.
Yeah, and every time he talks to me, I
Perfect.
just shout out loud, "Get out of my head!"
You get a lot of weird stares from people.
Yeah.
Mother will
If I get any weird stares, I just look back at him and say, "What are you looking at?"
Mother will follow, not knowing of the local forges and whatnot, so
You could probably
Okay.
follow
wanting
the
to
sound
stay
of
in
anvils clanging.
communication.
All right.
I should have brought my thermal anvil.
All right, so you guys find a like a bustling establishment
Bunch of young
that looks pretty
soldiers having a drink.
promising. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty, good vibe to it. Lots of people. Generally, what are you guys looking to do? Are you just looking to kick back and enjoy the scene?
I'm looking to get drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, a little of that, a little of just enjoying the atmosphere, people watching, and if there's like an open mic stage, I can't resist.
Mother
Okay.
watches.
Where Dove is looking for an open stage, I'm looking for a very loud braggart.
Ooh.
You want to start a bar fight?
Well, this is a military, base, if you will. So there's lots of those.
Yeah.
All right.
You look for the hotshot Air Force pilot.
Right. The hotshot airship pilot.
You look for the Tom Cruise hanging out in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing some old song.
Did he love? Did he lose that loving feeling?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Does he feel a certain need?
Maybe.
Yes.
Dalavash, what are you came, right? Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
What are you
still
doing?
there.
I'm just relaxing, having a drink or two, but not getting carried away.
Okay.
You're more
All
of a
right.
serious character, right? Kind of a. Your picture makes me think you're kind of serious.
Yeah,
most of the
somewhat.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, spiritual too.
Okay.
And he's a male model.
But not incapable of laughter.
Right.
I cannot not see Zoolander.
I'm sorry.
Damn it, Jamie.
If at any point in the night Dove takes the stage, I tell her, you got 10 minutes to change my mind.
10 minutes to change your mind, huh?
About what?
You'll have to find out.
Why do you never communicate?
You gotta read his mind.
All right.
Hey, look at Dalvash.
I turned to Dalvash. What does he intend?
I can't read his mind. I can just talk to him.
Ah,
There's a difference.
and he says nothing.
All right. Yeah, they definitely have a performer currently up there.
Mm-hmm.
He's more like a like a old school bard. He's doing songs, chants, a lot of more like local like funny songs, right?
Okay.
Songs that everyone's getting into and laughing, and the drink is flowing. But there would be a point where he would take a break from the stage, so you could have the opportunity to perform if you wanted to.
Well, I was gonna say, if he sings anything that I would know, like a tune that I'm familiar with,
Mm-hmm.
then I would just subtly start singing the harmony.
The harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have an opportunity, because a lot of this stuff, being a performer, there's a lot of songs that come that are older than the words, and so as you go from place to place, a lot of the songs are the same,
but the words are
if the
different.
words are a little bit different.
Okay.
And it's just like these variations of similar themes, and sometimes it's totally different. The words in this region have a totally different meaning,
Mm-hmm.
but you happen to recognize everything on one particular song. So if you want to jump in, you absolutely can.
Yeah, I want to be noticed without being overt about it.
Sure.
I'm assuming I don't have my loot with me or anything like that. I'm sure I brought it on the trip.
Probably
but I
not.
probably left
Yeah,
it in the
yeah.
room, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to start strumming along, but I'm going to hum along.
Yeah. Do me a favor and roll a performance.
All right. That's what I
While
was
she's
waiting
doing
for.
that, I
Mm-hmm.
want to find the biggest asshole in the room that's not myself and position myself close to them.
Okay. You don't have any problems picking that one out because there's this pretty massive looking douchebag who is surrounded by a bunch of bootlicking fellow officers
Okay.
who are just kind of egging him on, and he's getting rather loud and obnoxious.
All right. I don't do anything yet. I just want to
Sure.
position myself near them.
Sure. Okay. All right. And the performance. So as he breaks into a particular part of this chorus, Dove just kind of stands up and just perfectly brings in the harmony to the song. At which point the performer on stage continues to strum and play. And at first he's just kind of smiling and nodding, but as she continues to sing, he recognizes there's real talent here, so he kind of just picks himself up, perks up, start getting way more into the song, and then you guys go back and forth several times throughout the rest of the song, you doing the harmonizing parts. And the entire group just starts, cheering and laughing and playing, and he bows to the audience, and then he makes a special point to bow to you.
All right, I don't want to upstage the guy. I just want to improve his overall performance.
Sure.
But
Yep.
if he's open to it, I'll walk up and go on stage, grab a stool, and just sit slightly off to one side behind him and sing along whenever I know the music.
Yeah, he'll and when the song ends, everyone else is like more, shouts for more, and he invites you up, and he as you're
hold my
coming,
hand up so he can take my hand
Yep.
and pull me up on stage. Yep.
he pulls you up, and he asks you if you know a particular song, which I'm gonna say on the first one, high or low, Jeremy. Hi, you absolutely know it.
Okay. I said,
So he immediately
I think I'm familiar.
Goes in to the next song, which you're able to join in easily.
As the song starts,
Mm-hmm.
I hold up 10 fingers, and as each minute passes, I lower one finger.
Okay.
And Mother gets closer.
I probably just chuckle when I see that.
Am I within 10 feet of him?
You could be if you move.
Tell me if I get down to no fingers.
All right, I'm gonna say average length of a song is probably about 3 to 4 minutes. So
Okay.
you got a little bit of time.
All right, if a new song starts, I just keep the count where it is.
Yep.
I don't even know what you're
All right, I
doing.
want to say to him telepathically, what are you doing?
What?
If you're doing what I think you're doing, how about you don't?
I think it's countdown to bar fight is what I think is happening.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm buying
got
the
about-
bar time. We're trying to.
You got about 4 minutes down, 4 fingers down, and the next song starts.
Okay, make your perform check.
Oh, you DMing now?
Oh.
I told you, you got 10 minutes to change my mind.
Not as good. Still good, not as good.
Did that? What did that do? Lob.
No, I'm still counting down.
Okay, still counting. So with that one's a longer song. You've probably only got about two 2 fingers left when the next song starts.
We roll one more time.
So then I'm just holding up like a peace sign.
The douchebag next to you, you overhear him muttering and talking about, and he makes some joke that you can't quite hear, and everyone starts laughing, and everyone's looking at you.
Ooh. Suddenly, no
Okay.
fingers are up because it's a fist.
No, I ignore them.
Okay.
I want to lean into the guy on stage and ask him if he knows a certain song that that I know that is one of Lob's favorites.
Probably something very body and
Yeah. Lewd and loud.
yeah.
Well,
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah. The Eberron equivalent of that.
There you go. If it's loud and body, I'm going to say yes, because this is his primary place of playing, and that's probably what would go over well. So I'm going to say yes, he does know it, and he knows the crowd will like it.
Okay. So I point at Lob and I say, let's dedicate this one to that guy.
All right. He nods and says, "This one, the lady dedicates this one to the orc in the front row," or wherever you happen to be.
Oh, I'm over by the bar, probably.
You're over by the bar.
Wherever the assholes are.
All right. And then they bust into the song and start playing.
All right. What's your performance?
One more finger. Oh, look at that.
How's that? Is that good enough for you?
Oh my
All right,
god!
all right. I keep the 2 fingers up.
All
And now
right.
he's doing the 2 fingers are devil horns.
Yeah. Yeah.
About a minute.
Yeah. The peace sign has changed to devil horns.
All right. So about a minute passes into the song. You still keeping 2 up or what?
Yeah. No, I'm still keeping 2 up.
Okay.
Do the assholes next to me do anything?
They continue to kind of make glances your way and laughs, but other than that, no.
Okay. I'm still ignoring them.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna let the song finish?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Song finishes. Everyone cheers and everyone's pretty pleased with the choice.
All right, I think that's where I'm done. I'll get off stage. I'll pat the guy on the shoulder, say, "Good job. I see you have a future in this," and then I'll step down.
Welcome back anytime, miss. And he has everyone give you a nice big round of applause.
I'll just bow.
Okay.
I'll do a little pirouette on stage and let the glamour weave just suddenly shoot sparks up into the sky, and then
No.
and then I'll step off the stage.
All right. You overhear some rather crude comments, Lob, from the group about Dove.
All right, I turn to them and I say, "Excuse me."
Several of them kind of like give you a couple glances, but the douchebag in chief doesn't seem to pay you any mind.
That was a true artist you just heard.
At that, the douchebag finally turns to you and says, "No, really, that old man? Or are you talking about the redhead?"
And who were you talking about?
Why, the redhead, of course. And everyone else around him just kind of laughs.
All right.
She might find her way to my quarters tonight.
Right. Of course.
Oh, it wasn't the old man?
She played her
Mother
instrument.
says.
Now it's time for me to play my instrument. And I punch him.
Oh, geez. Oh man. All right.
Use some battle music.
All right. I'm gonna have you make an initiative roll.
And I will be right back.
Oh, yeah, it would help if I clicked on my token.
I wish I had sanctuary.
You can change that to a 17 if you want.
All right.
Originally rolled.
All right. I'm gonna just pull you guys into here.
So you got to redo the turn order.
That's fine. I haven't finished my side yet. Doo-doo. All right. Jeremy made it sound like this was a little bit easier to drag stuff on, but not quite. Okay. Where?
Ooh, generic bar fight.
Okay. Oh shoot.
Oh, my music stopped. I see it going, but I don't hear it.
That's just you.
Yeah. The timer's moving on me. It's just not playing.
Whoa. And suddenly we're all up here.
Okay.
There's the music.
All right. So we have douchebag and his mates all around him here. And so I'm going to draw a little table for you.
I need to make more bars. You don't have the generic bar from the DMG get added to the... I thought I added the DMG stuff.
Maybe. I wasn't.
That's alright.
He has the bar from the other team.
I do. I didn't want to
Across the street.
grab everyone off. Yeah.
I think I have like 8 different bars on the Forgotten Realms one. So it just goes between these generic
Just
tablets.
go in between.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the bar is apparently purple.
The purple parlor.
All right. and the stage would be kind of more over this way. So you'd be making your way over this way.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the bar.
Yep, that's the bar area. It's not quite that massive, but
Here, I'll draw a stage. There. And I just got off the stage.
there you go. Dalvash, you were moving your way over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, look at me going up first. Unless these guys go before me. Although, I would say that initiative probably rolled after Lob punched the guy. Probably have enough time to get through this fight, and then I should probably...
Yeah. Not sure it'll.
take that off.
Okay, you are. Dove, you see what's happening, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a free speaking action.
Nah.
And why are there two lobs?
If it's just a free speaking action, I'm not going to bother saying anything.
Okay.
Multiple.
I'm going to put you going next. You are able to get your
Did I hear
attack
any of the
it.
things that they said? Probably.
No way. Way too loud.
Okay.
I'm gonna punch him.
Go ahead. Oh man. Yep, you hit. Good lord. You deck the guy. I mean,
Comment over.
he is down. I'm assuming you weren't. Well, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not killing him. I'm not killing him. No.
Yeah. And he's still conscious, but he's like off his chair on the ground.
I look at his companions and I'm like, anyone else?
And they kind of like look at each other. These two scramble to him. This guy kind of takes a tentative step towards you and says, do you know who that is?
Oh no.
Do I care? Should have been a more appropriate question.
He just he kind of shakes his head at you and he says, "They'll have your head for this."
Oh, they can try.
He is going to choose to back away around the table, and apparently these are, I don't know, yeah, and come over here to kind of. So he goes around a long way around, and everyone else is just kind of sitting here, and no one else is making a move towards you, and the whole bar just kind of stops, and everyone just looks at this guy laid out.
All right, I don't pursue an attack. I punched him that once.
Okay. And what a punch. Are you sure you're not like a 4th level monk or something?
No, for my
D8
fighting
plus
style, I
strength
picked
bonus.
unarmed fighting. So when
Oh, no
I don't
kidding.
have a weapon, I do more damage than normal.
That's awesome.
Wow,
That is cool.
Wow.
that's cool. They must have added that recently.
Thump.
Good lord, yeah, 1d8. It's a freaking longsword.
Yeah.
Long sword
Yeah.
fists.
So yeah,
If
he
you aren't
is
wielding
out.
if you aren't wielding any weapon or a shield, when you make the attack roll, the d6 becomes a d8.
Damn.
Nice.
Wait.
Oh man.
D-
Can you dual wield unarmed strikes?
I suppose you
That's a good
could.
question.
I don't know. But
I think
my
your fist
greatsword
would have
does
to be
more
a
than a
finesse.
d8.
You got two hands.
You wouldn't be able to do the additional strength bonus for damage.
No, but that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
I just lean back on the bar
Okay.
and crack my knuckles or something.
I come over to you and I'm like, those morons needed to be dealt with and all, but there may have been a more diplomatic solution than just punching him in the face.
I look at Dalavesh. Do I look like a diplomat?
Right, old dog, new tricks. I get it.
I'll just come walking over.
His buddies.
Combat,
And
huh?
and I go. Nice song choice, Dove. Nice song choice.
Thought you'd like that. I could see what was
All
coming.
right. These guys, he's able to get to his feet, but he's just a mess of blood down the front of his face, and he looks pretty out of it. So they carry him away, shooting daggers your way as they leave, but they don't say a single word as they back out. And then,
Of course, it's probably the marshal's son.
and then everything starts back up.
By the way, I don't mention to Dove
That they said maybe?
what they said or
They said-
that they said
okay.
anything.
Okay.
Although in my career,
All right.
I'm probably used to it anyway. All right.
Was this conflict really necessary?
Is it necessary to drink my own urine? Of course not, but it's sterile, and I like the taste.
What the?
Some dodgeball.
I was gonna say it sounds like a reference to something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
All right.
I guess I'll go back to having a drink.
All right. Are you guys just going to kind of close out the bar, or?
Yeah, I think so. Or I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
All right. Eventually, last call comes around. Most of the crowd starts to disperse, but most of them stayed pretty late, even though it's clear there's a lot of people in school, possibly not making good decisions. But you guys close it down, and everyone
Do I find
keeps a
anyone
wide berth.
Do I find anyone that's not making any good decisions of the female persuasion?
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I just
At some point,
I'll just leave it there.
okay. At some point, stewards would come to find you, or well, you're kind of off base. Yeah, you would eventually make your guys' way back towards the headquarters somewhat late at night, and there would still be stewards waiting for you to so they're waiting for you to make sure that you guys hit to your rooms okay and all of that.
Well, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Might as well check in for the night.
Are you guys going to have an early morning or a late morning?
Early as I can get up without a hangover.
I don't
Probably
know.
pretty early.
Am I in my quarters or am I somewhere else?
I would say you're in your quarters.
Damn.
What? Well, I mean, I would assume that you're not alone.
Oh, all right, all right,
There you go.
all right. I'm with a bad decision.
didn't-
I'm with a bad decision.
You brought some bad decisions home.
Or are you with
plural,
Mother?
plural. Nice.
Well, I'm counting yours as well, but
You did make multiple bad decisions today.
all right.
How many
Well, you know,
little
I did
mobs
have
are
a-
running around?
Well,
Not enough.
Loblings.
not enough. That's the proper answer.
Not enough loblings.
We lobbed another one.
Many loblings, help handle them.
Handle it. You require more loblets.
Loblets? Yeah, I don't think I drank so much that I can't wake up all right.
No.
Early-ish.
All right. So whoever is the first one up.
Probably Mother.
Let's see. Yeah, probably Mother.
Oh, you need to power down 6 hours.
So a steward would be on the lookout for anyone leaving their quarters, and upon seeing you, they would say, "The Sentinel Marshal has requested your presence."
Well, I shall see if my companions are ready to rouse at this moment. In fact, not. The unforged dew needs to self-maintain longer, I see. Sweep, called.
Yes.
But I shall gather them as soon as possible.
As you will. So then he heads out. You kind of rouse everyone else. Oh, that's great. Your connection to the server has been interrupted.
It's not just you. I just got rebooted too.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Good timing.
All right, looks back. No big deal. All right, so you guys hear from Mother that the Sentinel is Sentinel Marshal Barrick is looking to
Bear.
see you guys. He's the guy that first met you guys when you arrived on base.
Barack Obama?
Look at you. Barrick de Deneath.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Damn it,
So
bro.
is everyone heading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you guys are summoned now. His headquarters are close to like his main office is close to that. So as you arrive, there's his staff is outside. They ask you to wait, and then shortly thereafter, you guys are ushered into his office, where he is sitting at the desk as you guys all come in looking over reports. When you guys come in, he sits back in his chair and he says, "Yes, well, what have you to report?"
Many things, many weeds, many possibilities.
I'm just sitting and holding my head in my hands.
Why?
Because I have a hangover, obviously.
Oh,
I say, well, we found that they were performing some kind of blood magic in their lab. Not sure you knew about that.
someone was anyway.
We know
Were
that.
you aware of a secret room?
Well, if they weren't allowed into the
Pentagram.
laboratory, they wouldn't know about it.
I do not. Are you sure that this is part of the research secret room? You say, is it possible that they knew nothing of this room?
Well, it was used semi-recently. So if it
May have
was
been
out
used by a
under
rogue
their-
agent.
Well, yeah, but they'd have to get past them in the lab to use it.
Hmm.
We do know that there was some conflict between members of the research team.
Yes. Godwin assured me that this was under control.
Well, apparently that's our lead right now. We think that may have escalated.
So you think the work of Sevel?
It's the leading theory.
Possible. The conflict it seems likely at the center of this. The offending party is as of yet unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And what news of their whereabouts or the missing research?
Searching. We have
None
a lead
yet.
to follow today.
Searching for sources of requisitioned, uninventoried requisitioned goods, sources of missing persons, yeah. And possible, if anyone may have seen them or their belongings leave their quarters.
Yes, well,
Also nature of astronomical/astrological research.
have you spoken with the Magi here?
Not yet. Will need to.
Perhaps they may be of assistance, either with
Absolutely.
this
Will do.
pentagram or you said stars.
Excellent suggestion. Will do.
Yes. Well, please keep us appraised of the situation. Yes?
Of course.
One more thing. There has been talk of threatening staff and certain behaviors. I expect, as members of the 12, the Council of 12, that you will comport yourselves in a professional manner. Is this understood?
I don't
Will
laugh
do,
out loud.
sir.
I laugh internally. I assume it's the bar fight. I don't know anything about what Lob did to the steward guy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
All right. I don't look at him. I raise one hand. Well, I still have one hand on my head. And I go, sure.
If you need anything further, do not hesitate to reach out. It is vital that we find either the missing research or what remains of Godwin's party.
Right, of course.
I expect another report this evening with your progress.
2 quick questions, actually. First, do you know of the nature of the argument between the head researcher and Cyvel? And second, do you know the areas of expertise of the, well, particularly, what was her name? Well, all of the team, but particularly Eurissa Vry's, well, class, basically, and defensive magic expertise.
I am afraid I cannot be of assistance. This is quite a large facility. I do not have the capacity to oversee each individual member. You must speak to my stewards, who will assist you further.
Will do, sir.
Do you have anybody that would give us access to a locate object spell?
I would assume that the arcanists would be of assistance.
Okay. Is that here in town?
But
somewhere we can
retreat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking.
He summons in he calls for one of the assistants, one of the stewards from the other room, and they come in and he says, see that they have everything that they need. Our staff will offer them our full cooperation, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, sir. Of course.
Alright, locate creature.
That will be all.
1,000 feet range.
And that he kind of just dismisses everyone and goes back to his paperwork, and the steward, ushers you guys out.
Right. It'd be a safe bet that they tried magical detection on the research, I would think.
You would think that would be the first thing they tried.
Right.
Yeah. And you would be able to kind of know some of that. Like for example, like locate object has a pretty limited range.
Yeah, locate creature only has 1,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And locate creature is 4th level, locate object is 2nd level, so it wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't be able to cast them obviously, but
those wouldn't be outside of the range
they're not
of most Mage rights.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they would check that first, and so obviously that stuff's not close, or if it is close, it's being masked. Yeah. So you, I say to Love, said that they've been getting a lot of shipping crates.
Yes, from this company, and Mother has the. Well, where are the tombs? Did we leave them somewhere?
I would assume you brought them.
Have we seen any of these crates? Any evidence? Like a big stack of crates out back?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Because someone's coming and taking them away. And if
or
they haven't
dismantling them.
Or dismantling, but if they haven't seen what's in them when they arrive, who's to say they're leaving empty?
Well, it's not like the building has a dedicated receiving area.
Right.
So where
it does.
Crates? It does?
Yeah. Really, so far you guys haven't been able, or you haven't asked anyone that might know.
No.
As of
that's
yet.
What we're going to check when we go to the shipping place, but I don't know if we have enough time to do that in 10 minutes.
I would say that right now, at this point, you guys would need to decide what you want to pursue first, and if you want to all do it together or split up, right? Because you guys have quite a few different leads to follow. You have potentially someone you could talk to about the celestial information you found. The shipments that were received, and then the company itself, which is local, but not local to the base.
Okay. Well, I would suggest, as a group, we all go to the shipping container place first.
All right. I was going to suggest we split, and the more magically knowledgeable characters go and talk to the Magi and see if they can't figure out what kind of ritual was being performed and the importance of the astral anomalies. Blah, 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 I can't even speak. And then the rest of us go try to find out about the shipping company.
That sounds good to me.
Seems reasonable.
Since we have multiple leads and we are kind of pressed for time.
Yeah. We should at least go in pairs, because eventually whoever took them or whatever happened to them, it's going to be noticed that we're poking around, and so we might run into people that want to stop us.
That's true.
And my first thought is, if there's anyone that's here on the base or here in town that is connected to this, it would be the shipping company. That seems to be the...
All right.
the
I mean,
one
we
suspect.
we don't have to report back to the guy until evening. Maybe we can, if we're all going to be together, we can speed through these.
Yeah, or at least we can all go as a group to the shipping place, and then if it seems to be a red herring, we can split up from there.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the shipping company first. A-Bear Industries.
A-Bar Industries.
A-Bar Industries.
A-Bar. We just left A-Bar, and now we're going to A-Bar first thing in the morning.
Keep thinking it's a cab.
Abacab?
Abacus?
Yes.
There's something I watched recently, and there's a character named A-Bar.
Yeah, I'm not. I seem to think of that too, but I'm not sure what it is. So you guys not being around here, you kind of have to get directions, but you find out, and as you give the address information around to a few people, you guys.
Watchman.
Ah.
Angela A-Bar from the.
Oh, that was such a good. I love the series.
That makes sense. Yeah, it was really good.
All right, so you guys are directed towards a an older part of town, and the person giving you the directions kind of gives you a once over and says, I'd pay close attention to my belongings if I were you going to that part of town. They just kind of nod to you, and as you as they take their leave of you, and you get the idea that it's not a great part of town.
All the better for us sticking together.
Oh, look at that map.
And it's still fairly early in the morning because you guys were roused fairly early by the steward. And I think this is where we will leave it for tonight.
Right. I will stop the stream, and I will stop the
Can you at least place us on the map where we're going to be entering this map?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This is a messy part of town, isn't it?
Those are some big ass rats.
Yeah, ignore the rats, because these squares are actually 10 feet. No, they're 10 feet squares.
Did you set the scale for the map accordingly?
Wow.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Because if you didn't,
So that rat's 3 feet long.
Yeah, so those are like massive. That's like a big ass dog or something.
Yeah, they're not even creatures. They're just part of the map.
They're ROSUs.
ROUSs?
Statues.
And lob. Dang it.
And someone's having
Are you
a
putting us
cookout
on a...
here.
There we are. We just appeared.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, you guys will be coming in this way, and you know that it's somewhere in here. And you're looking around. There's not a lot of things marked. And this is where
All right.
we will leave off.
And stop.